Uh, Welcome everyone. My apologies. I was watching um shit, 1 second. A house video and oh, it was very funny. Okay. Uh-huh. Give me 1 second, you guys. I actually wasn't entirely ready. I had already set the time, so not like you could back out. Okay. Second, I'm almost done chilling. Sorry guys, 1 moment. Oh fuck, that flashbang effect. This fucking game. Hey Tricky, welcome back. Was my eye fucked up? Hey Craig, welcome back. Thank you. What time is it for you over there in Norway? Oh, my microphone's a little off. Okay. Yeah, still working. 7 a.m. Oh, nice. I know the answer already. I know what you're going to answer, but I'm going to ask anyway. Did you sleep well? I know you didn't, but I'm asking anyway. Did you sleep well? In hopes that you might have. How's the game's timeline work? So essentially, you start in childhood. You go through the.
All right.
You go through these moments, right? You don't have to finish them all. In fact, I can proceed to teenage years right now by clicking here, right? But I'm not going to because I want to finish these. And then in teenage years, actually, I can just do this and show you. Ah, never mind. There's another window with more moments for the teenage years. Then when you finish that, you can go to young adult years. And when you finish that, you can go to the epilogue. So yeah. Alright. I did for once, took a night train and slept the whole trip. Oh, that's actually great to hear, Craig. I'm glad. I'm glad you slept well. Good. So let's start with fireflies. Alright, tonight we're going to catch fireflies. At this blunt declaration from your sister, you looked up from your macaroni and cheese dinner. Ah, mac and cheese. Mwah. Cultured. Fireflies were a familiar sight over summer, coming out on warm nights to dance through the sky. Tonight was particularly balmy, You knew there were bound to be a ton of them around. Oh, no, the mom voice. Oh, you are you? Yep, you started eating faster, looked over at your mom's. You pushed your food around your plate. That's a tough one. It's been a long time since I've tried Velveeta. I wouldn't know for sure. But I do know Kraft is good. Yep. You rocked slightly from side to side in your seat, already excited for your after-dinner activity. Catching fireflies was a great way to spend a summer evening. And you could already envision the little lighting bugs drifting through the darkened sky. That's a good idea, Lizzie. Can we, Mrs. McClam? Shiloh tapped his fork against the table excitedly, his face lighting up as he looked at Lizzie. It was unusual for Shiloh to still be here. Like always, his mom had to bring him over really early in the morning before her job started. But normally, she would have picked him up by now. She called before dinner to let your moms know she'd be late. You didn't hear why. Probably more work things. She's totally getting some. I have no evidence for this one way or another, but I'm just gonna say it. She's totally getting some. You thought maybe getting to hang out with Shiloh for longer is what made Lizzie want to keep bringing around outside. This is what we sell Shiloh. We cannot sell Shiloh, okay? We're not into that. Staying at home and watching TV was never an option for her with guests over. That's why you were pretty sure she'd get your moms to agree. Well, it's already so dark out there. Lizzie gave Mom the best puppy dog eyes she could, slowly spooning mac and cheese into her mouth while you waited there for the response. Let them, the mommy voice. Let them go. Nights like this don't happen every day. Your parents exchanged a look, then Mom eventually sighed and nodded back. By the way, I don't know why, but I find the mom so fucking attractive. Something about her looks. Along with Lisa's cheers, you threw your arms up in triumph, but waited until you'd finished chewing to say anything, because you knew it was rude to talk with your mouth full. Yes, please, never ever fucking talk with your mouth full. I will hate you.
Fine.
Fine. Just make sure you stay on the hill behind our house with all the poppies, okay? By the way, I just find it wild that they have a field of poppy flowers there. I guess teenagers are gonna be interesting if they're good at chemistry.
Duh.
Duh, Mom. That's where most of them are. The idea had only just been planted in your head, but already you could just picture all the glowing lights spread out in front of you. Like the fairies from the bedtime stories Mommy read sometimes. All too quickly, it became a race to see who could finish their food first. No choking at the dinner table now. That's right. If someone died, we'd have to cancel the Firefly trip after all. Mom said it like a joke, but you knew that they were both telling you kids to slow down. Shiloh did immediately. When you glanced at Lizzie, you saw her still eating faster than she should. Elizabeth.
Jeez.
No one's gonna die. Sheesh. A knock on the door interrupted Mom before she could now doubt scold your sister. I'll get it. Your big sister jumped out of her seat and ran over to the door, pulling it open without even looking out the window to see who it was. Huh? You shifted in your seat to try and get a glimpse of the unexpected guest.
Hi.
Good evening, Cove. Your mommy had already walked to the door by the time you managed to see past Shiloh. Shiloh's floppy hat. Isn't it floppy? Anyways, Cove, what are you doing here? In an instant, you'd hopped out of your seat and run over, a wide grin on your face. Lies, I play Warhammer, people always die. What? Did I miss something? Okay. Cope returned it with a small one of his own. Bouncing up and down on the balls of your feet excitedly, you tugged on Mommy's sleeve, hoping she'd ask him to stay. It didn't matter why he was here. It meant that he could join you all in catching fireflies. Then, for a few seconds, Cope said nothing. He only stood there and looked up at your mommy with a face almost like he was considering turning around and leaving. My dad told me to drop this off because I guess he borrowed it from you. Cope took a familiar screwdriver from out of his large side pocket. Eyes now dropped to the floor. We left ours back home when we moved. Great, thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here, why don't you come inside for a bit? Lizzie dropped her arms and lifted her chin. Cope shrugged, and Mom stood from the table too. I'll give your dad a call and let him know you got here all right. Cope shuffled inside, eyes remaining on the ground. Mommy closed the door behind him. Hi, Cope. Shiloh gave Cope a friendly smile, while waving by holding up his hand and opening and closing his fingers. Cope nodded in response. Cope, are you going to catch firefly with us? You could come outside with us if you want to. We weren't sure what to say now. Come on. You could see Lizzie eyeing you for mentioning the excursion to an outsider, but she'd get over it. It's a lot of fun. Cope grinned at that, and you knew he was intrigued.
Yeah.
I can do that. I've never caught one before. It's too bad he didn't even have a chance before now. The fireflies weren't out when he first arrived. When he first moved in, and there must have... Sorry about that. And there must not have been... Okay. And there must not have been any where he used to live. We can't go out until after dinner. After she pointed this out, Lizzie walked back to the table and took her seat. There wasn't much left on her plate. Since this was very true, you decided to finish up your own stuff as well. Cope stepped closer and eyed what was on the menu for your family's meal. For the Emperor, of course. Have you eaten yet? Yeah, my dad and I ate earlier. What did you have? Eggs. Oh, eggs for breakfast. Cultured. The clipped one-word answer seemed to discourage Shiloh from asking any more questions. His eyes slowly wandered back to the last scraps of food on his plate. Her phone call with Cope's dad must have ended because your mom came back into the room.
Okay.
Cope, your dad said you can stay for a little while if you'd like, but he's going to come get you before it gets too much later. Sure.
Fun.
Oh, fun. This will be so nice. As you polished off your meal, you hoped it would be too. The three of you all finished eating shortly after, and Lucy led the way outside. Remember, don't stray too far. It's fine, Mom. Shiloh trailed so closely after Lizzie, he was nearly stepping on her heels. Cope hesitated at the door. Come on, let's go. After a moment, he did.
Bye.
Hi, children. The two of you were a good 10 or 15 feet behind Lizzie and Shiloh by the time you walked outside. You pushed the door shut behind you, watching their figures get farther and farther away.
Hurry up!
You were so slow, Curry. We don't have all night. You started to run when you heard Lizzie's voice calling you, but paused when you saw Cope still walking at a relaxed pace. Are you not gonna come? You tucked him along. You walked with him. You waved at him to hurry, and you ran off. You tucked him along. Come on. You reached out first for his crossed arm, then corrected yourself and grabbed his other instead. He stumbled a bit at your pull, but went along easily enough after he got his balance. When you arrived at the hill with Cope in tow, your eyes widened at the beautiful sight. There were a lot of fireflies out, glowing against the backdrop of the dark sky. Lizzie was already standing on top of the hill, and Shiloh was running around near the middle.
Wow.
Wow! Shiloh took a moment to come over and welcome the both of you to the hill. Hi guys, it's really great out, huh? See how many there are? Yeah. A firefly danced in the air, landing on Cope's sea green head. Shadow couldn't help but giggle. You and Shadow couldn't help but giggle. You quietly looked on, and you shooed the bug away. I'm loath to do anything that Shiloh does. But I guess. Covering your mouth with a hand, the sun escaped you and Cope looked at you in confusion. What? You gestured to his head, and he reached up, making the firefly dart away. Cope jumped, then followed after the glow.
Oh,
Oh look, Lizzie has one. That's amazing. Shiloh ran to the highest point of the hill, making sure not to lose his hat or backpack along the way. You hummed as the group divided and conquered, shifting your gaze to the dozens of other fireflies sailing around. The game was on. You had a bandage on your thumb, and you tried to be cautious about that. You had a bandage on your palm, and you tried to be cautious about that. 2 bandages on your hand. You were good at not getting cuts and scratches, so you weren't too worried about that. Okay, so I'm not good at that. So let's go with 2 on the hand. Spotting one close by, you approached it with assassin-like stealth, crouching down to make yourself seem like less of a threat. Slowly dragging one foot in front of the other, you crept up towards it, arms outstretched. You closed your hands around the little glowing orb. Careful not to crush it, the firefly landed on your palm, almost docile. And you stared down at your prize in delight. His tiny legs tickled your skin, and you giggled at the sensation. Cope kept up with his own target, but when he tried to grab it, his pink cast waved awkwardly through the air, foiling his efforts to clap his hands around the firefly. Whatever that sounds like. Cope watched it vanish into thin air with a dissatisfied expression on his face. You encouraged him to try again. You told him about the firefly you had, made a joke. Look over here, I've got one, come see. Cope gave one more look in the direction of his lost prize before coming closer and peering at the insect still crawling across your palm. You held out your hand and he leaned closer, eyes widening a tad behind his glasses. By the way, I forgot to ask guys, how's the audio mix? Too loud? Too little? Anyway, you held out your hand and he leaned closer, eyes widening a tad behind his glasses. Because I'm looking at this and I'm pretty sure I'm blowing out the mic a couple of times. Cope remained hypnotized by the little bug as he inched his hand closer to yours. Ultimately, he settled his fingers lightly over top of the ones you were holding open. It tingled. You stayed very still. The last thing you wanted was to accidentally scare the shiny treasure off. Aww, adorable. The firefly, noticing the new connection, crawled up onto Cope's hand. He quietly gasped. It worked. Yeah, you got one. Cope's lips turned up into a slow smile, and his eyes shone brighter than the bug. Thanks, Scurry. With a laugh, he gave the palm of your hand a friendly smack, performing an awkward low five. Startled by the extreme movement, the tiny light disappeared before you could even blink. Your firefly was gone.
sorry.
Oops, sorry. You forgave him, of course. That's okay. I couldn't keep it forever.
You're right.
Right. Bugs have to stay outside. Let's get another. You decided to collect more. Uh-huh. We can work together. His face broke out into a wide grin. We'll get a bunch. With renewed vigor, you ran out into the hill. You're not sure how much time passed while you were in the thick of it. All you could focus on was the adventure at hand. No critter was safe from your grasp. At first, you tried to keep a tally of how many you had caught. But once the number grew higher than 10, you had no more fingers left to count with. You were having the time of your life, racing up and down the hill with the crash of the ocean and the sound of everyone's laughter echoing in the background.
Cory!
Cory, this way! You followed the sound of Cove's voice to the top of the hill, watching as he stretched his arms in front of him, reaching with his fingers and only narrowly missing his target. Cove and you took turns trying to scare fireflies in the direction of the other. You showed him some techniques that you had learned, like how to cup your hands correctly, and he listened attentively before trying for himself. There were a few times when you almost ran into each other, giggling as you dove to the side at the last moment. Luckily, a disaster was avoided each time. It was an overall huge success, with the both of you catching multiple fireflies each. Eventually, the fireflies began to thin out and your energy started to lapse. You decided it was time to call off the hunt. Cove didn't complain. He breathed in heavily, and his face seemed really flushed. That was fun. A lot of fun. You smiled at him broadly, happy that he had enjoyed the activity. Yeah, it was.
Come on!
Cory, Cove, get up here, we're gonna have a race. The shouting caught you off guard. It had been a while since you heard from Lizzie or Shiloh. You glanced over to see them both standing on top of the hill again, Lizzie beckoning to you with quick hand gestures. If she was like that, you knew there wasn't much room for disagreement. Up that incline you went. From the corner of your eye, you saw Cove was coming as well. He didn't care for Lizzie a lot, so you thought he might be intrigued just by the idea of a race. Hi!
Go!
Hi, Cove. You can't roll down the hill. You could hurt your arm again. You'll be the referee for the rest of us. As Lizzie pointed this out, Cove froze in place. Oh, it was that kind of race. He frowned down at his cast. That was the second time he got in the way of tonight. And this wasn't even the first time she had asked him to be a referee for one of her sudden races. What? Yeah, you'll watch and see who gets to the bottom first. That's important. Got it?
I guess.
I guess. The cast was sturdy. If he was careful, he could have done it. Lizzie might have just been looking for a reason to make someone else the referee, but it was already decided. I'll stay with Cove. Of course, gotta stay with him.
Really?
Really, why? You don't have to. It's okay, I want to watch. You moved beside him on the top of the hill, even though Lizzie eyed you and made a face. That's not how races work. We only need one referee. Rearing with your shoulders, you refuse to budge. Can you shrug with anything else? You refused to budge, and Lizzie let out a huff before throwing her hands in the air. Lizzie moved to lay down, and Shiloh did the same. Cove stood slightly to the side to get a better vantage point, and you stood next to him. Count down! Cove stood up a little straighter. It seemed like he was taking his newfound referee duties seriously. 3, 2, 1, go! Lizzie and Shiloh took off, letting gravity do the work and rolling at a high speed towards the bottom of the hill. You and Cobb leaned forward to watch them go, eyes peeled for which of the two would reach the bottom first. They were both neck and neck until about halfway down the hill. Liz started to veer off to the side, giving Shiloh a huge advantage. She obviously hadn't noticed a thing, and as soon as Shiloh reached the bottom of the hill, he jumped excitedly and threw his hands up in the air. I won! Almost immediately, he fell back into the grass, still dizzy from his roll down the hill. Lizzie stomped out of the bush she had ended up in, sputtering angrily and brushing leaves from the front of her dress. Not bad. You got lucky. Let's do it again and see who wins for real. Kids, it's time to come in. No. She's so fucking competitive. You snickered, feeling grateful you hadn't been a part of the mini debacle. You caught Koba's eyes and saw that he was doing the same. It had gotten late and was beginning to feel just a bit chilly as you made your way out of the hills, but the cold in the air hadn't dampened anyone's spirits. The four of you walked back home together, side by side down your neighborhood street, discussing the evening with each person trying to prove that they were the one who caught the most fireflies. You knew that whoever really did catch the most didn't matter much anyway. All that mattered was that you all had a good time. Which, judging by the smiles on everyone's faces, you did. Moment over. Okay, so I was thinking about letting the ghost for the end as the final moment before stepping into the next step, but I think I'm gonna go with the barbecue because I remember the barbecue was really fun. The night was incredibly still. You really couldn't ignore how silent it was. It was almost eerie. You could even hear Lucy snoring in the next room over. It was hard to believe how much of a blur today was. Summer sure did slip right past you. You flickered through the moments like pages in a scrapbook as you laid in bed. The ones that stuck out all seemed to include your new neighbor, Cobb. It was funny how he had become such a big part of your life in such a short span of time. You thought a lot about what adventures you could have tomorrow until Steve started to catch up to you. Then, you heard something scrape up against the window. It wasn't that uncommon for the wind to push a tree branch against the glass. Summer breezes were the worst sometimes. I don't see any trees in that window, but okay. But the more you tried to ignore it, the louder it seemed like it became. It was like something was trying to get your attention. You lifted your head off the pillow to get a better look. Nothing was there. Nothing you could see, at least. You just went back to bed. It was only your imagination. You had to investigate the mysterious sound. It's too creepy to ignore. Of course. You practically jumped out of bed and crept down the stairs to go outside. Your moms were still awake. They stayed up so late it seemed. Luckily, they were watching TV and didn't hear the soft click of the front door opening as you slipped past. You looked around the neighborhood for a few seconds, checking over each individual house. It looked normal, but it didn't feel that way. You knew you weren't supposed to be out here right now. It was exhilarating that you regret your decision and scared you. Come on, exhilarating. Your chest was light, and you couldn't keep the grin from your face. No one had permitted you to go out. In fact, no one even knew you were out. And yet here you were. You wondered what else you could do. What other rules were so ingrained that you had never even considered that they could be broken?
Corey.
You twitched at the sudden call, immediately calming down upon seeing Cobb walking up to you. It was strange, yet also completely normal, to have him appear like this right now. What are you doing? I saw you standing around in the middle of the street from my window. You weren't sleeping either? Why not? Cope turned up his lips to smile, almost as if he were amused by the question. Because. Did you hear a weird noise? You should be in bed. Because what? And I'm glad you're here. I'm gonna go with because what? Coke Zero. Delicious. Because I wasn't. His tone was irritated now. That wasn't really fair, since he hadn't given you a proper answer the first time, or the second for that matter. Why aren't you sleeping? You weren't even in your house. Tempting as it was to turn his sneak back on him, you decided to lead by example, and show him what a real answer looked like. There was a strange noise coming from outside. I came to check it out. You heard it too? Cope hesitated for a moment, looking down the street before his aquamarine eyes fell on you again. Did it scare you? Of course not. It's cool. I was scared. It's okay, Cope. We're safe. And we have each other. Thanks. Your reassurance definitely seemed to ease his fears at least a little. I was kind of wondering if it was the wind, but what if it's not? What if it's a person? What if it's something that's not a person? The unsettling noise suddenly rushed through the air. Cope and you flinched. It sounds even worse than before. You were about to agree with him when the noise came yet again, tearing through the still night. The two of you rapidly looked around, trying to find the source, but to no avail. There was no sign of an answer to this puzzle. You thought that it could be anything. It had to be a ghost. There's gotta be a regular reason for it. It's gotta be a ghost, you guys, come on. Invisible, creepy thing luring children from their beds? Had to be a monster, right? Come on, what else could it be? You were becoming more and more excited by the thought, imagining yourself as some famous ghost hunter. Cope didn't seem to share your enthusiasm. And that kept you from getting totally lost in the daydream. The most important thing to you was making sure he would be okay, even if you had to be the one to protect him. Hey, can you tell me where it's coming from?
Not really.
Then we'll have to look more. Somewhere else. Maybe we'll see something. Okay, let's go. As you walked the familiar streets of your neighborhood, you found yourself taking the lead while Cope hung back behind you. You were happy to let him rely on you. Shadows cut corners and angles where you didn't expect them, distorting the features you saw every day. The noise came again, shrill and hard. It set your teeth on edge the way it's ground its way through you. Cope's throat bobbed, his eyes glistening in the dim light. You comforted him, offered him your hand. You need to be scared. Offered him the hand. You really wanted to be there for him, and wanted to show that. Your hand was left up for him to take. Cope's mouth opened wordlessly. There was a pause, but ultimately, he accepted the offer. He was really sweaty, but it didn't bother you. Cope shut his eyes and pressed his lips together. Your fingers locked around each other even tighter. Where did you want to check? The park, the beach, the hills behind my house. Let's go for the beach. The beach stretched out in front of you, nothing in sight along its sands, no matter which way you turned. Part of you had imagined the noise as some creature of the deep, washed up on the shore and calling for aid. That theory had to be taken off the list for now. Still, you spent enough time on the shore to know that the real finds often required a sharp eye and careful attention. The sound screamed past your ear. You hunched up, shoulders high, as if ready to endure a blow, but the only damage was to your ears. There didn't appear to be any imminent danger, despite every bone in your body telling you that something wasn't right. But you kept going forward, you ran away, snuck back, kept going forward. Come on, no guts, no glory. You couldn't stop when you had already gone so far. You had to find out what was going on. Sucking in a deep breath, you steeled yourself to continue on. You made sure to stay nearby Cove, who needed the support. His eyes were wide, his breathing heavy. He then whispered to you, "Let's see if there's anything here." Cope began to comb the beach for clues. You followed suit. The angry wind sent grains of sand rolling across the beach, like waves. You stayed clear of the water, which was rough and choppy tonight, and scoured the area for hints as to what might be happening. You saw something glint in the sand, full of promise, but when you eagerly uncovered it, you found that it was just foil from a chip packet. You stowed it away with a sigh. Did he find something? Yeah, garbage. Cope shrugged and gave you a sympathetic smile. That's how it goes sometimes. You like hunting for treasures on the beach too, right? Yeah. Have you ever found anything mysterious or weird? You were expecting him to mull the question over for a bit, but Cove answered immediately. Teeth. Like a shark's tooth? You'd seen those for sale in shops, but you'd never been lucky enough to stumble across one at the beach. No, not that. People teeth. Okay, Cove. Weird. No. Yeah, you know how grown-ups sometimes don't have their own teeth any longer? And they get fake ones so they can still eat? You nodded, listening in fascinated horror. I found some. The top half. How do you know it was the top half? It had the pink top of the mouth bit, like this. He opened wide and pointed at the roof of his mouth. You let out a squeal. What did you do with them? Mom took them from me. I don't know what happened to it after that. It was... Too bad. Think of the prank opportunities, the right thing to do, crows, way stranger than stuff I've seen. Still not as strange. Too bad. Think of the prank opportunities. I'm sorry, my character is a gremlin. You could have hidden them in someone's school bag or under someone's pillow. Oh, I hate it if someone did that to me. Once you were satisfied nothing out of the ordinary was to be found on the beach, you had to consider your next step. Though the noise wasn't as clear as when you first stepped outside, you could still hear its shrieks ringing through the peaceful night. You... drank the Coke, and then decided to check the park. The private playground was empty as ever. You could just about hear the mysterious sound if you were quiet, but it had shimmered down to a whisper. Cope was practically shaking when he realized it had progressed far enough to reach there. He swallowed hard, was faced with a determined stare. My dad says, good detective work starts at home. He watches a lot of crime shows, so maybe it could be good to look closely. Okay. The two of you swept through every corridor of the park. No monkey bar, swing, or tire went unchecked. Huh. He was squatting on the ground, squinting at something in his hand. Intrigued, you checked over his shoulder, so you could see too. Cope held it in his open palm. Coiled inside was a length of sparkly chain, grains of sand embedded in the fine links. Lifting it up, it became apparent how this had come to be here. You'd seen bracelets and necklaces enough to recognize that the clasp which held it together had snapped. It's broken. It's silver. Werewolves hate silver. Other things too, I think. If this noise is caused by a monster, we can protect ourselves with it. Smart. He's smart. I like it. He flicked the chain as if cracking a tiny whip. I wonder if there's anything else we could use out here. Cope considered this, frowning. I should have grabbed some garlic before I left. No. We don't want to scare the vampires. We want the vampires to come to us, okay? That was our goal. His frown evolved into a scowl. It probably wouldn't have worked. That doesn't have real garlic. It's fake garlic? It's little flakes in a jar. Not real balls like you have to cut up like Mom uses. Flakes might be easier to use. It's still real garlic, just already chopped up. Can't taste as good. We could sprinkle them around as we walked. I guess. From his begrudging tone, you could tell that he was still firmly on the side of fresh garlic. You had exhausted all the possible places to search in the park. Straightening up, you mused over your next step. It's gone. What? Then you realized it. The noise, which had gone fainter and less frequent during your search, had died completely. You and Cove shared puzzled looks, but neither of you had an answer for what had caused the mystery sound, or made it go away. You yawned, blending into the urge with exaggerated sleepiness, stretching out dramatically. Okay? And beat. Let's go back. I subscribe to the theory that vampires being allergic to garlic is a myth perpetuated by the vampires themselves in order to get us to pre-season their food. I agree. I agree completely, Trekkie. The night was still as you walked home, with none of the usual background noises or their eerie whistle from before. You could hear every step you and Cove made like a cough in a movie theater. The two of you came to a halt outside your front door. Never before had it looked so ominous. Looks like they haven't called the cops. I'm probably alright. Do you sneak out a lot? Come on. What's the answer, you guys? Second time, not really. Lots, but you were lying. Lots, but you were telling the truth. Oh, I don't know, I'm partial to the last one. Being a little delinquent appeals to me. Little chaos gremlin. I like being out late. Me too. It's not a big deal. He looked up the ground sheepishly, likely recalling how frightened he had been up until just recently. Usually. Are you worried about getting caught?
No.
No. He was so forward that you believed him completely. But your dad, won't he get mad or sad if he catches you? He's never happy with what I do. Oh. You sympathized. You encouraged Cope to see it more positively. You still stayed out of it. You didn't know how to react to that. Your dad's just worried about you. He cares. It doesn't matter if he worries, if he's the one who makes things worse. Ouch! Corey is Gremlin confirmed? Yes, I'm Gremlin. Mwahaha. Alright, I'm going in.
Bye.
Okay, good night. Good night, Cope. Thanks for coming with me tonight. You made me feel better about stuff. I want to say thanks to you. You beamed at him. You turned the doorknob as slowly as a clock's minute hand, holding your breath for the telltale click of the lock, then nudged it open. When all that happened was the door opening, rather than the blaring alarms that you'd feared, you melted with relief. Back inside your house, you were surprised to find your moms still watching TV. Weirder still, it looked like they were on the same show as you were watching for you you left. Yet, you're positive you'd been out investigating for hours. Perhaps you could use your distraction to your advantage. If you could just get up the stairs, you would be safe from suspicion. But how could you get there? Sneak past. Walk in your own house nonchalantly. You couldn't, you had to give up and come clean. Okay, never. Maybe, but come on, look at this one. Look at this one. It's just got such powerful energy. Let's go with this one. Like a boss, exactly. Sometimes the best thing you could do was to hide in plain sight. You stood across the room in the direction of the stairs. Cory? Your moms knew you were up. They had no idea why. They abandoned the couch in their show to hurry over. They were still in a state of surprise. Weren't in trouble yet. Hey, Trix, welcome back.
Are you okay?
What are you doing down here, sweetie? Did you have a bad dream? You told the truth, you lied, you did not answer. Do we tell the truth or do we lie? Yeah, I love this light novel. Visual novel. It's great. I plan to finish it. Lie, but if you tell the truth, it's just even further boss behavior. You simply just do not give a fuck. Okay, let me see. How does this? I went out to find what was causing the noise. Okay. How long is it? There's 2 more steps, roughly the same size as the one we've done the past 3 nights. This time seemed to drag as the color drained from your mom's faces. Out where? Out of your bedroom? That's what you mean, right? You pointed to the front door, confused their worst fears. Mommy remained frozen in shock while Mom launched into lecturing mode. Cory McClan, it's not safe for you to be out at this time of night by yourself. If something was wrong, you should have come to us. Yeah, this was the right choice. This creates the most chaos. I thought you knew better than that. Yes. I thought you knew better than that. I trusted you to know better than that. Anything could have happened to you. If we don't know where you are, it's a lot harder to keep you safe. Her voice was soft, yet it still cut deep. You pawed at the ground with your feet. What they were saying made sense. It was scary. I don't like being scared. I just wanted to see what was there.
Sweetie.
Honey. Mommy wrapped her arms around you, fretting the back of your head. You clung to her. You're brave for facing your fears, but you need to be smart too. It was scary because it might possibly have been something dangerous, right? That kind of worry is something you should tell us about. This is serious, Cory. You just barely finished your punishment from the last time you snuck out of the house. It can't keep happening. I'm so sorry, but it's gonna. Your head hung low. You felt bad about upsetting your moms again. Mom shook her head with a sigh. Let's get you back in bed where you belong. There is no slicing in this slice of life, not that I know of. Right? Well, we'll talk about this in the morning. You pulled a face at that, but didn't protest. All things considered, they could have been much harder on you. Once your moms had left, you turned over the nice adventure in your mind. It was still hard to believe that you'd really done it. Sure, you were going to get a talking to tomorrow, but it had been a night that you'd never forget, for better or worse. You hoped that Cope had gotten home okay, though he hadn't been worried. Being told off was never fun. We require additional blood. I understand that urge. It's very powerful. Wriggling down deeper underneath the sheets, your thoughts turned to the unsolved mystery. You and Cope had only just begun to scratch the surface of it. Maybe you'd solve it and maybe you wouldn't. But what mattered was that you shared the experience with each other. You were still so energized by the night excitement that you stood and turned in bed for some time, thinking of theories to share with Cope when you next saw him. Ninja Gaiden? Probably not. I've tried it a long time ago. I couldn't really get into it. But hey, maybe the fucking 10 years since will make a difference. I don't know. Sleep eventually claimed you, with the adventure merely resumed in your dreams. In the morning, a new punishment had to be concocted since the previous one hadn't been convincing enough. It's not going to be enough. Your bedtime was going to be set even earlier than usual for a while, and they were going to keep an extra close eye on you to make certain no more nightly trips were made. You had no choice but to live with it. You later learned Cope didn't end up in trouble whatsoever. It was unclear whether that was because his dad chose not to punish him, or if Cope got away with it. As for the son that started this all, the adults around were convinced it was nothing more than the wind. For your imaginative mind, that wasn't nearly enough. How could they accept something so simple so easily? Maybe it'd make more sense when you were grown up too. Speaking as someone who plays it, you're gonna die, and it'll be glorious. No, New Game is infamous for being hard. True enough. Alright. One more moment and we finish childhood. Barbecue. You'd been brought along to the big park today, which did an excellent job of living up to its title. The park was near your house, with its lonely playground equipment. Okay, the park near your house with its lonely playground equipment wasn't even a quarter of the size of the expanse of grass and trees that lay before you now. As it was in the next town over and too far for you to walk to by yourself, you didn't get to visit it much, and so you soaked up the environment. Another difference between this park and the one in your neighborhood was that this one had visitors older than you. Lizzie, Shiloh, and Cobe. Today, it was the busiest you'd ever seen it, thanks to a community get-together, luring people in from all over the local area with the promise of barbecue and fireworks. Your family and Cobe's were just two of many. What seemed like dozens of cars were parked up already when you had arrived. You saw Cobe hesitate as he took in the growing gaggle of strangers. What a weird way to word this statement. By your mommy, Lizzie bounced on the balls of her feet, barely containing her excitement. Gaggle? A group. A random group. Like a gaggle of Namekians. Are you joking? Is this the first time you'd heard gaggle? On the upside, you start getting good. The bloodshed and gameplay is amazing. I understand those types of games. But I don't know, for real, is that the first time you'd heard the word gaggle? Oh. I mean, it's English, so you have three choices. English, French, German, or Norse. So let's roll the dice. What do you think? Gaggle. Etymology. Middle English, imitative of the noise that a goose makes. Compare with Dutch Gagellen and German Gackern. So yeah, Germanic in origin. Germanic. A group of humans is an infestation? Yeah, fair enough. You saw Cope hesitate. Alright. The crowd made you nervous, you couldn't wait for the fireworks, you looked forward to meeting more kids, you'd rather have stayed home, your tummy was already rumbling for the food to come. Even if it was bigger, this park wasn't especially. What am I. Why am I bothering? Of course, the food. Food! It's barbecue. Like. The food is always the best. Right? Sure, it might not actually be better than other food you could get, but the fact that it was cooked at a grill, you can see them here, right? Look at my mouse pointer. That makes it even better. Even if they don't know what they're doing, is still usually better. Colony drop? Why colony drop? Are Sion German? It was going to be so good. Mommy had told you that the people running the community event weren't charging for it, but she wanted to get something in return. Which is why you'd not been allowed to touch the beautifully iced cupcakes she had carried in her lap during the drive over. It was a special treat for them. Every time the car made a turn, she'd clutch the bugs tight enough for her knuckles to strain, much to everyone else's amusement. Mr. Holden's contribution to the party, a huge pack of juice boxes, was tucked under his arm after being retrieved from the car's trunk. You bet there had been no such dramatics around the cargo getting here in one piece, but the boxes did lack the beautiful shimmer of Mommy's treasured cupcakes. Fucking word. 6 Zion is German. Oh yeah, right, that Sieg kind of gives it away, huh? The amount of times I've eaten charcoal burgers and hot dogs would like to say. Okay. Charcoal hot dogs are good. Charcoal hamburgers, yeah, okay, fine. But that's not knowing what they're doing. That's just bad. If you're that bad at cooking that you charcoal a burger patty, then that's not you not knowing what you're doing. That's just you suck. You suck at cooking. You shouldn't be near the grill. You should be sitting down and waiting for your own. Alright, fine. I will acquiesce to that. I will accept that maybe I was going with a different definition of the word for hot dogs. But. Alright, okay, I'm exactly that, Trix. That's what I meant. But, if you're doing more than that, then it's not that you don't know what you're doing, it's that you just fucking suck. You have no place grilling. Ever. How the hell can you fuck it up that bad? It's not that hard. Smoker? No, at a smoker, we don't want beef jerky. No, I would not. You bet there had been no. Oh yeah. Okie dokie, everyone all set? You should be. Oh wait, no. What was that voice? Should be. Code, did you put sunscreen on before you left? Yeah, I always do. You don't have to tell me. Mr. Holden deflated his attempt at caring for his son rebuffed, but he triumphed with a smile. Good kid. I don't want you getting burned, or dehydrated either. It'll be a busy day.
Well,
I don't think there's going to be any risk of that second part. Mom nodded at the tables up ahead, laden with all kinds of food and drink. She was right. There was plenty to go around. A smoker is great, it takes longer, but the food is amazing. I mean, yeah, I've had... I think it was ribs in a smoker. It was so good. The parents had... But I feel like a burger patty wouldn't cook correctly in a smoker, is what I mean. The parents had it over with you, Lizzie and Cope trailing after them. A bunch of grown-ups were clustered around there, chatting, but you were more intrigued by what was on the tables. Some of it was familiar. Chilled meat, sliced vegetables, big bags of chips, but there was a lot that you didn't recognize. Your moms had said that you weren't to touch the food until they said it was time to eat. Beer? I mean, I'm sure there's beer, but they're kids. Potato salad? I like the potato salad. You didn't see the harm in taking just a little. You wanted to listen to the rules. You didn't want to risk getting caught. Look, I know that this is the correct one. I know that a lot of people will go with this one. But my heart is telling me this one. If you could add something and pop it in your mouth without anyone noticing, no one could be upset. And it's true. If you steal a bite and no one sees it, did it really happen? Of course not. You chose to grab tomato, carrot, cocktail sausage, rolled piece of ham, sausage. You put the whole thing in your mouth and chewed as surreptitiously as you could manage. Cope definitely caught what you were up to. Luckily, he seemed to think it was funny and Liz mirrored quietly. She saw that Mommy and Mr. Holden had deposited the food and drink they'd brought. Mommy gave the cupcakes one final worried look before turning to you with a smile. Since that's the topic at hand, how about we freshen up with something to drink? Yeah. That'd be great. Along with the ones out, there was a giant ice cooler on the ground, stuffed full of cans of soda, boxes of juice and milk, as well as bottles of water. Your drink was... Alright. What do you say, guys? What do you say? Soda, water, juice, or the correct choice? No tea? I mean, it's kids. Juice box? But milk. And soda. But alright. Alright. We'll go with the juice. Tea is glorious and great for all ages. I'm pretty sure they don't want to give their kids caffeine. You slurp the sweet juice through the straw until, all too soon, you were sucking up only air. British intensifies. You're not British. You're so American. Damn it, I don't have a joke right now. Or British. Okay. Yeah, sure. Tricks. Have you ever been outside of the United States? Not including Japan. Your little group took a break while everyone quenched their thirst. Mr. Holden smacked his lip, pantomiming enjoyment. Damn you, I know. Yeah. So no, you're not... You have British ancestry. I rather doubt you could qualify as calling yourself British. But hey, maybe. I don't know. The fuck do I know? I'm just a fox on the internet. And I go, hey, wouldn't it be fun? Don't eat the beef. Bovine spongiform encephalitis is a bad way to go. Hard Aztec? I mean, probably. Maybe. I don't know. The same way that anyone in Mexico could. Your little group took a yeah, Tricks, but it's still in the same continent. It's still in the same part of the country. Your little group took a break while everyone quenched their thirst. Mr. Holden smacked his lip, pantomiming enjoyment. That hit the spot. But you kids should go have fun. You can take your stuff with you and join the other kids playing games. Just don't go too far from the tables. We'll be keeping an eye out, so don't even think I was thinking of. We're not going to the other parts of the park today. Lizzie huffed at their comments. They did sound directed at her, but she scanned the surroundings, nodding her head towards a group of kids like a general directing their battalion. She pointed the way. Come on, let's go over there. I'm not sure that's a flex you think it is, though, considering they spent their... Everyone was British at some point. Excuse you? But not Mexico. Sorry, but not Mexico. We're Spanish. And you could maybe say French. But is Mexico one of those few countries that was never invaded by Britain? Okay, yeah, they're fine. Yeah, okay. It was a joint effort. It was a joint effort. Yeah, it was a joint effort, so I'm not counting it. A whole Britannia? Fine. Shut up with the eye. You're gonna show nothing. Didn't happen. Come on, let's go out there. Co's smile was stern as he looked from the parents and the other adults to the new kids, clearly not favoring either option. But ultimately, he hunched his shoulders and tagged along after Lizzie. What do we do, guys? Stay with the parents or go with the kids? I'll go with the kids, I think. You followed after Lizzie and Kobe, who were waiting for you in the Oscars of the group of parents. Hurry up! You picked up the pace, moving into a jog, but when Lizzie pelted away at a full speed, you and Kobe had no choice but to break out into a run. The other kids were far out in the field. Still, at your speed, it wasn't long until you reached them. As you approached, they turned around to greet the newcomers. Hi, I'm Lizzie. That's my little sister, Cory. The one with the cast Kobe. Hi! Kobe simply lifted a hand in greeting. There was a chorus of hellos and names from the other kids. One of the kids looked to be about Lizzie's age or older. A couple seemed to be the same age as you and Kobe. There was one tiny little thing with his arm folded over his chest. What are you up to? The first kid, a boy with curly black hair and neon green sneakers who introduced himself as Hayden, shrugged as he looked to the others. Not much. The second kid to pipe up, Lisa, had half her face obscured behind the huge glasses she wore. We haven't decided yet. She glanced wistfully over her shoulder. Following her gaze, you saw the spray of water first, and heard the shriek as someone got splashed in the face, before you spotted the person shooting them. Some people are playing with water guns, but there aren't any left. The smallest kid, Noah, grumbled at that. You guessed? That was why he was sulking. Spencer, who hadn't said much, patted his shoulder. So that's out. A new kid raced over with a glint in her eyes, and her brace streaming behind her. You spotted the plastic orange pistol in her hand too late, when the trigger had already been pressed. Hack! They did come to the war for spies, didn't they? Rude! Take care, Trix. Hey! Lizzie, who'd been caught first, was fuming. Kobe wiped the water from his face. He gripped at your ear, trying to dislodge the water that had pooled there. You laughed. It was pretty funny, and you were unhurt by the water trickling down your neck. The girl simply darted off to find more victims, unaffected by your reaction. She doesn't mean anything by it, Lizzie tutted, flicking her hair out of her face. The girl, not meaning anything by it, didn't change the fact that she'd been sprayed. Kobe looked similarly unimpressed. Lizzie's face lit up as she had an idea. Hey, we should catch her. She won't be able to spray people if she's running away from everybody. Yeah. Cobb nodded as the other kids murmured their interest, or lack of it, in the game. Yeah, sure. You nod along. You joined the group of kids in tearing off after the girl with the pistol. Spotting you all over her shoulder, she laughed and shot her pistol in the air. Only a couple of drops squeezed out. You were out of ammo. She swerved, causing discord within your team as someone stood on your foot, and you collided with Cove's shoulder. Whoops! Cove showed you a smile that gave you a feeling of camaraderie. It's okay. You were closing in on the girl, but you weren't alone. Lizzie's face was set with intent, and the two older kids were hot on her heels too. You outran them easily, with effort, weren't as fast. You moved to the side to let them pass. You don't want to win this race. Let's go the Mary Sue route, okay? You rushed right past, right to the head of the pack. You were close, and then you tackled her to the ground. You did it! The girl who'd been caught giggled as she got to her feet, brushing strands of grass from her knees. Smiling, Cove came to stop at your side. Lizzie whooped with delight, clapping her hands. The boy with the bright sneakers grinned. You're it now. Catch us if you can. Yeah, I'll do it if you wouldn't get away from me. With that, you all dispersed, squealing and laughing as you tried to evade capture. The sour mood from earlier had evaporated entirely, replaced by a light and playful atmosphere. There's a Twilight fanfic that I should reread. This reminded me of it. Several rounds later, when most of the kids had taken at least one turn as it, the scent of smoke wafted up to your nose. Caught by surprise, you looked up and found that the brilliant blue of the sky did it. Huh. Okay. Tell me if it's too loud, okay? Brilliant view of the sky had turned orange as the sun sunk down on the horizon. With all the excitement, you lost track of time completely. Looking over, you saw people standing over the girls and poking them to life. It was nearly time to eat. We should get over there. I'm so hungry. Our parents are at different spots. Yeah. It was cool playing. Yep. Bye. See you. You whipped goodbye to the other group of kids before hurrying over to your parents with Lizzie and Cove. Tickle unfurled in your throat, growing more persistent as you came closer to the source of the smoke. As the three of you approached the tables, your parents spotted you and came to join you halfway. You tried to greet them, but another cough obstructed your words. Woof! That's quite a cough. Are you alright, sweetie? You nodded confidently. Are you sure? No one needs to go up to the girls if they don't want to. Just let me know what you need. There was no response from the other two kids here. I can get it myself, Mommy. Alright, but tell me if it gets too much for you.
So,
The main thing being served is kebabs. You can have whatever you'd like on it. There's different meats and veggies. Kebabs? Instead of burgers? Are they crazy? Fine. As you approached, you found the vast array of bits and pieces, ready to be skewered and served up. You chose potatoes, beef, pork, potatoes, beef, pork, zucchini. Of course not. Onions? Are you crazy? Ew. Chicken? Nah. And that's everything. Sounds good to me. The veggies will be good for you. 3 meats? Yeah, meat is good. Meat is delicious. Everyone should get a lot of meat. Right? And this big long stick of meat, it's good. It's good for your health. Order given, you waited for your food to be ready. Lizzie headed towards you, having answered her own request. Hi again. I heard that what you ordered. I'm getting a chicken kebab with all 3 colors of peppers. Noticing that Caleb approached, she turned to him. Let me guess, shrimp. What are you having?
Why?
What does it matter? I don't know, I was just asking. I'm getting a beef and shrimp. Called it. Beef. With all vegetables except onions. Lizzie hummed while evaluating his response. That's okay, I guess, but chicken is definitely the better one. Are you fucking crazy? Chicken the better one? It's beef. Then you can eat all the chicken. I'm going to. Chicken is this is a stupid fucking argument. Yeah, it is. It is an argument. We already finished. Lizzie peered over to the grills where the kebabs were being handed out. A growing assortment of kebabs collected in your parents' hands. They're coming over. Don't get jealous of mine when you realize you made the wrong choice, Cobb. She's so competitive. I didn't make the wrong choice. There isn't a wrong choice. We all made good choices, and to you, Lizzie, you sighed. She simply stuck her tongue out in return. The person serving gave your mommy one final kebab. Then your parents moved over to rejoin you. Between them, they were carrying 6 kebabs, 1 for each of you, including Cobb and Mr. Holden. We've got the goods. Fucking hell. Cobb's daddy is looking for a place so we can sit. In the meantime, they began passing out the kebabs to their rightful owners. Lizzie smiled smugly as she received hers. These are pretty big. Be careful not to drop it. Try not to poke yourself with the ends either. They're sharper than you might think. Hearing that, you tentatively pushed the tip of the skewer against your finger. It felt like the point of a newly sharpened pencil. Yep, that is exactly what I would do. Though it didn't hurt your hand, you wouldn't want it scraping the roof of your mouth or jabbing your tongue. Mommy clucked her tongue. It would have been nice if the options were a little easier to manage and less messy to eat, especially for smaller kids. There aren't even plates for everyone, so we could set the food down for a second.
True.
That's what you get for the price of free. But we can't hack it, right? Lizzie nodded her head vigorously, clutching her kebab like a trophy. Delicious water. Hail hydrate. Your parents led you back to the tables. It was immediately evident why Mr. Holden had been sent to scout one out. The benches had quickly filled up as people got their food. Mr. Holden was standing over a corner section near the edges of the sitting area. He beckoned your group over to join him. You clambered over onto the bench, taking care not to let your kebab slip from your fingers. Cobb took a seat next to you. Lizzie took the other side. Your mom passed the final unclaimed kebab to Mr. Holden.
Thank you.
Thanks. This looks delicious. Thank you for getting us a space out here. Everyone tucked into their food. You gobbled it up eagerly, only partially obstructed by the awkwardness of eating from a skewer. Running around with the other kids had helped you to work up an appetite. Mr. Holding, what do you do? Well, no, the boys. Well, I do a lot of things. Do you play golf? Only if you count mini golf. One look at Lisa's stricken face confirmed that she did not. She could enjoy the occasional round of mini golf, especially if she had an audience to impress, but your sister took her passion very seriously. Even then, it's been years since I gave it a shot. Cope groaned at the feeble pun. Mom chuckled. You weren't sure if she was responding to the joke, Cope's annoyance, or Lisa's offense.
Don't worry
Yes. Just as well. She'd be dragging you to the green every week. That's because I've got dedication. You need a good driver too to get far. Mr. Holden nodded, clicking his tongue in appreciation. Cope looked from his father to your sister, lost in the conversation. Outclassed in golf and wit. I don't get it. I wouldn't get it either if I didn't live with her. I have to hear this stuff all the time. You should give real golf a try. Maybe I'll even teach you some tricks. Don't try to change my dad to be more like you. Lizzie gave Cove a dirty look at the accusation. Mommy felt the need to move the topic ahead before it got heated.
Oh, nice.
That's really sweet of you, but I'm sure Mr. Holding is busy. He might not have time for another hobby. Yeah, I don't think I'm made for that. Still, your offer is appreciated.
Why?
Then tell me something you really do already. You just go away every day. I like scuba diving. Oh wait, the boys. I like scuba diving, though with the business. That's more work than play these days. Surfing and reading, snorkeling. Is he a scuba instructor? Because that's cool. Those are things Cope likes. Wow, it's a good thing you live by the beach. Don't I know it? I have nightmares about moving inland. What, him? I mean, look at him. I don't think I could do a surfer boy accent. Like, don't I know it? I have nightmares about moving inland. No. I'll think about it. I'll see if I can get some clips of surfer dudes. Alright, next.
No way.
That's not a good joke. Who said it was a joke? The sun had been setting when you had got your food, and by the time you'd finished, night had truly fallen. Your sticky fingers were the only remaining evidence of your meal. The kebab had been a great combination, more than the sum of its parts. The seasoning of freedom to choose every ingredient yourself was what made it something to remember. Resting from the table, Mommy held up her water bottle. Okay, now that the food is gone, you've got to wash your hands.
Okay.
Oh wait, the boys. Corey, Lizzie, please hold them out. This is the wrong game. Yes. Lizzie complied, coming over and cupping her hands together in front of her. Mommy splashed some water over her fingers. Lizzie rubbed them together, working off any residue. Here. Mom passed her a paper towel from her purse, and Lizzie used it to dry off her hands. Your turn, Corey. You readily held your hands out to catch the water. Cupping Lizzie, you washed your hands, taking care to clean every crevice between your fingers, before wiping them dry. Nearby, Coop had taken his own course of action, wiping his hands and his pants, and leaving a stain where his fingers had been. Mr. Holding shook his head.
Come on.
Let's clean it off, Paul. He scribbled the fabric with a scrunched up napkin. Dad, it's not that bad. When everyone was cleaned up, or as clean as they could be with the limited facilities, Mom spoke up.
Let's go.
Let's go make one last check at the coolers and restock on drinks before the fireworks show. No time, we have to get a good spot. Everywhere's gonna be taken. How about I go ahead? To save space again, we can meet up with me in the field after getting the drinks. Then I'm going to with Cove's dad. I'll find the perfect place.
Okay.
Sure thing. I could use an extra pair of eyes. Mommy shook her head ruefully at Lisa's even more enthusiastic than usual attitude.
That's fine.
Alright, me, Cliff, and Lizzie can go find a place to sit. Pam, Cove, and Corey? Oh, the boys. Alright. Me, Cliff, and Lizzie can go find a place to sit. Pam, Cove, and Corey, do you want to go get the drinks? Okay. We nodded. As Mommy and Mr. Holden headed off into the wide open field where the fireworks were being set up, we joined Cove and Mom in returning to the cooler where you'd picked up the drinks earlier. She's going to be heckling him about golf, isn't she? Quite likely. Even as you approach, you suspected you wouldn't find much in it. Where it had originally been stuck to the brim, it was now half empty. The ice, which had cushioned the drinks and kept them cool, was largely melted, with only a handful of pieces floating like tiny icebergs. Slim pickings. The drinks that remained looked to be bottles of plain water, but you caught a glimpse of something more colorful amongst them. Mom rummaged around in the cooler, excavating a couple of juice boxes from the bottom in the process. Aha! Curry, Cope, you can take one of these if you want. The perks of helping. Good, good. Okay. Cope hesitated but decided to take a juice box for himself. When you were each loaded with your chosen drinks, plus an extra bottle or two for someone else in the group, Mom's phone started to ring. She juggled the water bottles over into the crook of her arm and looked at the caller. It's Mommy. Hold tight while I get this. Hey hon, how's it going? Did you find our perfect spot already? She nodded along to the call, punctuated by ahas as Mommy gave her directions. Catching your eye, she gestured towards a grassy area. We've got a place, come on. We'd better hurry before the show starts. You and Cope jogged after your mom, who led you through the field. And the separate groups of people assembled there, back to the rest of your families. Hello, we're here, and we come bearing drinks, though there wasn't much left. The three of you handed over the spare drinks. You gave Lucy a bottle of water, but she only had eyes for your juice box. Ah, leverage. Corey and Cope had juice. They helped get the drinks. You got to pick where we sat. Don't be selfish. I'm not. Good. Then you're going to thank us for bringing you your very own water bottle. Thanks. I love this fucking thing. Once everyone had been equipped with a drink for the big event, he sat on the grass beside Scope and waited for the magic to begin. Most people in the park had taken a seat now, with the few stragglers silhouetted back at the tables in the distance. A few rambunctious kids were still dashing about, but their number was steadily decreasing as their parents called them over and restored order. Someone bearing a cardboard box weaved between the groups, pausing every so often. You nudged Cope and pointed. What are they doing? It looks like they're handing out something. I can't make out what it is. I hope it's not drinks. Mommy chuckled, but Lizzie and Co were now watching the bestower of mystery goods keenly. Are they gonna come to us too? Mom softly put her hands on top of your sister's shoulders, as if she feared Lizzie might bolt over to the stranger. Lizzie didn't even glance at her, eyes locked on the potential prize. I don't know.
In that case,
We'll have to wait and see. You were intrigued, of course. Studying the man with the box closely, as he gradually meandered nearer, could make out that he was handing out small items to most of the groups he stopped at. They seemed too sure to be water bottles, but beyond that, it remained a mystery. Yet the boxman made his way to your group. Evening. I'm handing out desserts. Any takers? There's dessert? Lizzie squealed, hopping up off the ground. The man chuckled. I'm gonna take it as a yes. Ice cream's on the menu. Vanilla with a twist of either chocolate or strawberry syrup.
Nice.
Nice. None for me though, thanks. Same, but the offer's appreciated. Heretics. I want chocolate. Can I have strawberry? Get a strawberry for me too, please. Now you are going to have to make a decision. Chocolate or strawberry? What do you think, guys? I'm just joking. Of course, there's only one correct answer. I'm gonna get chocolate. Of course. Reaching into the box, the man brought out the requested ice creams and tossed them out. It came packaged in a little plastic cup, complete with a wooden spoon stuck to the paper lid. The condensation wet your fingers in a pleasant way.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Kids, are you going to thank the nice man too? There was a chorus of thanks. He cordially nodded and walked off to another group. The man couldn't spend much time with each group, consider how many he had to get to. You peeled back the tab that covered the ice cream and got right into your unexpected treat. It tasted amazing. Lizzie was definitely enjoying hers. Cobe was too. You couldn't help thinking about how Cobe had strawberry while you had chocolate. Can I want a bite of mine? He looked around awkwardly, but nodded nonetheless. You'd cut a bit of ice cream, making sure to hit the chocolate swirl that distinguished it from Cobe's, and held it out for him. He nibbled at it. Do you want some of mine? He scooped a chunk of ice cream with his wooden spoon before holding it out to you. You took it gladly, and it was gone in one bite.
Oh.
Aww. Mommy was gazing at the two of you. Her mouth was an open smile, as if she was about to say something else. But Mom tugged on her collar. Ah, Mom wingmanning. She knows what she's doing. She's a good wing woman. Don't embarrass them. Hey, if you're sharing, I'll take some. You don't need it. You both have the same flavor.
So?
So what? Good grief, this girl. Shook your head. No. Lizzie stuck her tongue out at the both of you and turned her attention back to her own cup of ice cream. Lizzie munched away happily, but it ultimately didn't succeed in monopolizing her attention. Eyes wide, she looked at her mommy and pulled on her pants. God. I didn't get strawberry. Can I have some of yours, please? Of course, sweetie. Lizzie cooed with excitement as Mommy presented her with a dollop of the ice cream and syrup mixture. Licking her lips, Lizzie lapped it up. Mommy, come on now. Lizzie has all the ice cream she needs. They simply laughed and pinched Lizzie's cheeks, then dug her spoon in again and handed it out to you. I just can't resist. Corey, would you like some of mine? She's got a whole cup of ice cream to eat already, and you had a bite of Cobe's. I think that's plenty. But that's not the same as getting a little extra from your mom. Oh my god. This fucking game. You accepted the bite. You ate the treat being offered, much to Mom's chagrin and Mommy's delight. Coop watched the exchange silently with a blank expression. Mom, on the other hand, shook her head, a fond smile on her face. Well, you better at least give me some too. I'm pretty sure you're gonna get more than some later. From Mommy, Mom, but alright. You could have gotten your own if you wanted ice cream.
What?
What? The kids have ice cream already and they're getting some of yours to boot. And I have nothing. Now is when you decide to be firm? Laughing, Mommy fed some ice cream to your sulking mom. You could never actually follow through with being Tom. Sorry, she could never actually follow through with being tough. There. All better now. Yes. Good. How about you, Cliff? Would you like some? No, I'm still okay. But thanks for keeping me in mind. Cope, it's only fair that you get choice too. Cope shook his head firmly, concentrated on his own cup. Mommy smiled. Okay, as long as no one is feeling left out. Mommy was always so nice to everyone. Then, the first firework cut through the sky, whistling as it ascended until it hit its crescendo with an explosion. The park flashed as if alight. Squealing, Lizzie leapt to her feet, her forgotten ice cream tumbling to the ground as the firework crackled into tiny drops of glitter in the sky. It's starting! Everyone else looked up to the sky as another firework whisked through the air. With each explosion, Lizzie would jump into the air. The event was thrilling. I mean, it's this or this. Cope sat by his dad, captivated by the sky sparkles and flashes overhead. Mr. Holden watched the fireworks scene impassively. He did smile at you and even give a thumbs up when he noticed you looking over. Mommy hopped to her feet, pulling Mom with her, pushing her into joining Lizzie in jumping up in tandem with every crack of a firework. Mommy then bent down to offer you a hand up too. You got up to join your family, beckoning for Cope to join. Cope got to his feet, tailing after you as you stood up with your family. Your mom's faces lit up, literally and metaphorically, as you approached. The five of you shrieked and leapt, along with the sparkles in the sky, not trying to contain your joy at experiencing the sight together. The fireworks continued, some twisting like the coil of a spring as they arced into the air. Others shooting straight from the ground and shattering into a million tiny specks. Every color got its spotlight in this show, from fire reds to eerie greens and blues that could rival the ocean. The show built up to a grand finale that boomed over the park and filled every inch of the sky, the twinkling lights representing the full spectrum of the rainbow. The exhilaration that had fueled you while the fireworks were going off was sucked dry now that the show had finished. You collapsed into a giggling heap on the ground, suddenly aware of how your legs ached from your exertion. Cope tumbled down with you, his expression gleeful. Mr. Holden watched his son with an expression much happier than the one he'd worn while watching the show. Lizzie gave a final whoop of delight and shared a high five with Mom as Mommy shouted for an encore into the night. You didn't know what that meant, but you liked the way it made Mom laugh. Though the sun had gone down long ago, the air in your bare arms was warm. It took in your giddy family, the spirits buoyed by the fireworks display, then your new friend and his father looked happy in their own quieter way and smiled. This had been a pretty special night. Right. And then the summer ended. I'll never get tired of that view. I know, right? It's so fucking sweet. The base game is free on Steam. If you want to play through some of it, it's free. You get the first 5 moments of each step free. And if you want to spend the money, it's honestly relatively cheap. And if you go into the Patreon or itch, there's a Not Safe for Work version DLC for when they're adults. You stuck beside your moms, Lizzie and Cobb, as the 5 of you watched the sun dip into the ocean somewhere far, far away. You really like to imagine it cooling off in the water, resting yourself before getting ready to shine brightly again tomorrow. That was a fun day. I didn't know they had magicians on the shopping street now. Neither did I. Oh, no, we're so dull. Let's get out more. It didn't do real magic, Mom. How did you figure that one out? Because I know. That's not what real magic looks like. Oh, Lisa dear. There's all kinds of magic in the world. Lisa gave Mommy a suspicious look, but didn't dispute the claim. You looked over at Cobb, who hadn't said a word since you started home. You didn't look upset though, just content. You were worried he still hadn't quite warmed up to your parents. Well, we can't sit out here all night. Time to hurry home and get cooking. Who's helping with dinner? Lizzie immediately let out a groan. Mom, summer's almost over. The protest was obvious. You could practically see school on the horizon. You certainly didn't want to spend your last bits of freedom cooking dinner. You could do that any other day. Please, can we play just a little longer? We have to keep playing before it's too late. It is almost over. You put on your best puppy dog eyes. Lucy may not want to, but you're planning on going home. Come on, come on. Oh, don't look at me like that. Like what?
Please!
Soon we'll have homework and reading to do. We can't do work now, too. Lizzie made her case and then stomped her foot into the ground. You mimicked her, feeling that would add something to the argument. So fucking adorable. Well?
No.
Oh, come on, Pam. Oh, wait. Oh, come on, Pam. I can help you with dinner. Mommy leaned in for a hug, and you knew that you were very close to victory.
Okay.
Alright. But as soon as dinner's ready, you let her come in inside, understood? Yes, Mom. Yes, Mom. Cobb, dear, you're welcome to join us as well. Wait, no, Mommy voice. Cobb, dear, you're welcome to join us as well. Yeah. Cobb gave a non-committal shrug to your mommy, which she took as an agreement. So much to do, so little time. Maybe I could still get the seashell bracelet at times and trinkets. Oh, or maybe the playground, or the fireflies would probably be coming out, right? Don't they get a say in this? Lizzie looked over at you, narrowing her eyes like she was very seriously contemplating the answer to that question. A strong gust of wind made you shiver. Lizzie huffed as she wrapped her arms around herself. Doesn't the wind know that summer's not over yet? That's all Lizzie said before abruptly turning on her heel and heading off in the direction her mother's had gone. Where are you going? I'm going to my room. I have lots to plan if I want to make the most of tomorrow. You thought this was over, looking off towards the water again. Lizzie didn't wait, and before long she was disappearing off down the road. Meanwhile, Cobb was going in the opposite direction, heading for the beach. You followed Cobb, of course. Cobb gave you a smile that you couldn't help but return. Cool. He made a little gesture that you interpreted as, follow me, and then started heading to the waves. Hey Derpy, welcome back. It's good to see you. We're almost over with the childhood. The fireworks display in the barbecue was great. No headers this time by the looks of it? Yeah. I automatically turned it off and then I didn't re-enable it, so. Cope knelt down, picking up something you quietly identified as a smooth rock. He reared his arm back, then tossed it out into the water. You were impressed over how far he got it to go. It sailed way out into the sea. It was a good toss. That was pretty neat. It wasn't a long throw, but he didn't care to try for that. The rock sunk, kind of, like a rock, and fell back down. Almost right after he tossed it. It would be funny. I'm tempted between 1 and 4. Okay. Huh. Where's my pointer? Alright. Let's go with the 1. What are you doing? Nothing, really. You tilted your head, wondering over the sudden pensive look on his face. You're tilted. Oh. Just thinking. About what? Coop was looking down at his cast, scratching idly at the pink surface, even though you were pretty sure he couldn't feel it. His brows were furrowed, and there was a frown on his face. It's not fair. I've had to wear this cast for ages. I can't even swim. When do you get it off? How do you get it? I'm more curious about that. I was jet skiing. Ooh. Your jaw dropped at his answer. You wonder if he had broken his arm doing an awesome move. Like a loop in the air. I'm guessing that's to compare the rope tossing what, my crazy mouse action? Cope looked a little taken aback by your outburst, but after a second he gave a small nod. He then continued to explain. I crashed. He gestured to his arm as if to say, and this was the result. It's hard to believe you're allowed to jet ski.
Whoa.
Well, I'm not. Oh. Cope let out a huff, plopping down into the sand. I can't believe summer's almost over. You sat down next to him and nodded in agreement, regardless of the sudden topic change. Such a bad boy, shake my head. It's accurate. I want to go to school. I mean, I would. I don't want to go to a new school. I think it'll be the same school as you and Lizzie. My dad said something about that. Cool, you're going to like it. Everyone's super nice. You'd only ever been to the one school, but you were sure that his old school couldn't have been that much better. Then again, he'd have to make new friends and meet new teachers. It could be kind of scary. Cope shook his head, then wrapped his good arm around his knees as he threw them to his chest. I don't know what. School could be you good or bad. Ah. Bumped the microphone. Yeah, having to rebuild one's social network could be quite difficult. Yeah, a little bit. Though he's already got a bit of a head start. Us. Cope shook his head, then wrapped his good arm around his knees as he drew them to his chest. You heard a sniffling sound, and when you took a good look at his face, you realized that his eyes were wet.
I want to go home.
I want to go home. You'd never had to move before, but you thought you could understand. If you had to go to a new school all of a sudden, with all new people, you'd probably be dreading it too. Even though you sort of maybe understood, you still weren't sure how to help. Okay, I'll see you later. Cope gave his head a small shake. No, I want to go back home. Right, Cope wanted to go back to his old home, the one that sat waiting someplace far from here. The one he would bring up whenever he felt this sad. It had been a while since he had moved in, but but he didn't seem to feel any better about being here. Yeah. We accompanied him in his runaway attempt, and eventually convinced him to return. You settled back down into the sand, trying to consider what to do. This can be your home. It's a really nice home if you give it a chance. Cope didn't respond to that. He just tightened his arm around his knees, resting his chin on them. You're not going to leave, right? You still be around? The question was a little surprising. Of course. Your parents will have nation if you are going to move or something, right? After a second, Cope gave a little nod. I know, right? Poor kid. He'd have the mother of all abandonment complexes. Once I get my cast off, we could go swimming. You were fine with him changing the subject again. It'll be too cold by then. You smiled, so he knew you were only kidding. Cope smiled, then looked back at the waves. Your dad keeps saying I'll get used to everything eventually. That I'd feel better then. I'm pretty sure that's I'll. Apostrophe LL. I will feel better then. It used to make me angry. I didn't want to get used to everything. He spread a glance over at Cope, and I saw the anger had slipped off his face and Farah something almost puzzled. But maybe that would be okay after all. As long as I really do feel better. I can't see it. You could remember a long time ago when you'd first started going to school. You had absolutely not been okay with the idea of being away from your parents for most of the day. To listen to strangers tell you what to do and sit with kids you never met before. Yeah, it's definitely it would definitely be a rough ride. Things changing is hard. Things changing is hard. Yeah, it is hard, is correct. You held his hand. I'm not quite sure what to say to that, so instead, you reach out and take hold of Cope's hand. The one closest to you is the one in his cast, so you made sure you were very gentle. As you watch, Cope's eyes got a little misty once more. You get the feeling that they were different tears than the ones from before, though. I hope next summer I'll surf and go exploring and everything will feel like it's supposed to again. You gave Cope a big smile. I hope so too. Two of you sat quietly, just taking in the sounds of the waves. You hoped that Cope would be able to accept this place as his new home. You would definitely try to help, in what ways you could. There were so many wonderful things here. Cope probably hadn't even seen yet. Lost in thought, you started a bit when you heard a faint, familiar sound. The sound of your mom shouting your name. You looked over your shoulder, realizing it was probably time for dinner. Time had really gone by fast. You stood and dusted the sand off of yourself. My mom is calling. It's time for dinner. You should come. Have I decided? I'm going to see if the Discord can tell me if you can like hold it off until the very last moment. And if you can, I'm gonna do that. If you can only reel it in step 2, I'll do that. But if I can do it in step 3, I'm going for step 3. My mom's calling. It's time for dinner. You should come. Go look up at you. Expression screaming reluctance, yet ultimately, okay. Second. Oh, my back. Go. When you smiled, Cope returned with one of his own. Corey? Thanks.
Thanks.
Hey, Tricky? Yes, hail hydrate. Corey? Thanks. It was nice. Where you were right then. But the two of you couldn't stay here in your own little world any longer. You were being called forward. So the both of you ran off towards your house, leaving the waves and summer behind. Step 1 is done, boys and girls. In between. Yeah. So, keep the face, keep the skin tone, the eyes. We're high Valyrians, of course. And also because it looks cool. Rosy cheeks. I'll go with rosy cheeks. Brady says never needed any. Freckles, scars, birthmarks. Looks fine to me now. Alright. Feelings for Kobe. Of course we're going up to crush. Of course. Now. Of course. It's gotta be crush. What do you think? Relaxed, nervous, or direct? Now, traditionally, it would be nervous, you know, because you're like, oh, so nervous for the crush. Or relaxed, confident, or, well, very laissez-faire, very chill about it. Or direct, you know, very confident about it. What do you think? I think I played relaxed and nervous before, but I don't really remember them anymore. Order to blunt up with the affection? Alright, let's go for it. Direct, if the boy doesn't say anything at all at some point, something's wrong. Alright, let's do this. You won't be able to change it again until step 3. Customize Kobe. Choose to customize Kobe yourself or let his prior experience determine it. Alright. Warm, affable, sporty, or studious. Okay. Don't customize Kobe. I mean, it was already like this. I just wanted to see. Ah, shit. 1 second. Let's speedrun this. That was the correct choice there.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot. Did I get a say in this?
Rude.
Let the consequence of your actions haunt you. Stayed with Kobe. Yeah, I just wanted to see what it was like already. But
Listen, it's not fair.
how do you get it? Cool.
Well, I want to go home.
This is gonna be your home. Ah, of course, we're not leaving. It'll be too cold by then. You smiled, so he knew you were only joking. Go smiled and looked back to the waves. Oh. The actually good kind of joke. You held his hand. Run off towards your house. There we go. Come on. In between. Did I change anything? Where's the cheeks? What do you mean I made a joke you like? Alright. Direct, crush. Ready? Step 3. Alright. So I wanted to see appearance. Non-glasses. Okay. Hair. I know, right? Oh, shit. I saved instead of loading. That's fine. It's just appearance. It's just the appearance. It's fine. It's fine. Hair, that one. Glasses. What do you think, guys? No glasses? 1 or 2? or one? First one, glasses, okay. Shirt. Okay. 1 or 2, guys? One, okay. Charm or no? Different? Alright, I like it with necklace. I'm keeping the necklace. Okay, 1 or 2. I'm also for 2. Contrast is better? I really like 2 though. Yeah, look at the shark teeth. I'm gonna choose to believe those are shark teeth. Pants. We start with 2A. 2B. Different color. Those, which are a choice, or those, or these. 2A? Yeah, that's what I thought. Not those which. Not 2A, or not 2A? Okay, 2A, yeah. We're all in agreement then. 2A. What's this? Oh, PJs. Hair? Yeah, the strip ones were bad. For PJs, no glasses. It makes sense. So if we have PJs 2, PJs 1, which one, guys? I'm partial to 1. Let's go with 1. Oh. For jacket. But it contrasts much better because it's at night. That's a choice. That's a choice. 2? Fair enough, fair enough. True. Glasses or no glasses for the jacket? August ended. September began. It was time to go back to school. Lizzie groaned and complained the entire first week. She hated going to classes. Still, there were interesting things to do that couldn't be done anywhere else. You weren't sure how Cope felt about it. He wasn't enrolled that year. That was like a sign Cope would be staying in Sunset Beard for a while. At school, he was alright, but kept his distance from the other kids. From what he saw, anyway. Whenever he could, Cope stuck to you like glue. He didn't even mind that much what you did to pass the time, as long as it was together. Sometimes it was like things were exactly the same as when you had first met. But other times, as you got older, you couldn't ignore how the feelings had changed in meaningful ways. That year, the divorce of Cope's parents was finalized. You ever heard your parents talking about it? Saying Cope's dad got full custody. At first, you worried that meant bad news. It had made Mr. Holden cry, apparently. Then you found out it meant Cope would keep living with his dad. He would only stay with his mom a few weeks of the year. Cope cried too. For different reasons, you thought. It seemed like Cope and his dad might move again. But Mr. Holden decided to stay after all. Mom asked him about it once. He said he didn't want to uproot Cope's life a second time. Mr. Holden tried to get Cope to like Sunset Bird more. He kept encouraging his son to go out and see the place. Sometimes, Mr. Holden volunteered to spend time with Cope. He seemed very confident that it was an effective strategy. Gee, I wonder fucking why. I wonder why. Really, voluntold, you think that's the correct way to phrase that? More like double volunteer. I'm pretty sure we volunteered as tribute. Okay, Cope never talked to anyone about what happened with his parents and withdrew whenever it was brought up. It was hard for him. Still a proper term for someone volunteering another person who's voluntold. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yet, nobody knew how to help. Eventually, Cope stopped crying on his own. You couldn't understand what had changed, but you hoped that you could help him feel better still, since even without the tears, he looked sad. Maybe, one day, he could say out loud what he felt inside. After that, it felt like things had gone back to normal. Except, what was normal didn't stay the same. Years passed, and suddenly, you were in middle school. You weren't a kid anymore. You were 13 years old. That officially made you a teen. Even if your sister didn't agree. Toys and crayons that used to litter every free space in your room had been packed away somewhere, replaced by new hobbies. There were other changes too. Cope's cast got taken off. It was weird to see him without it initially. Underneath the pink plaster ended up being a long, thin scar that snaked around his forearm. Cope's chest puffed out in pride when someone drew attention to it. Scars are cool. He also went through a major growth spurt. He was the tallest student in his class for 2 years in a row. Cope will probably hold that spot again next time. In class, of course we're going to decorate the room. In class, people knew him for more than just being tall. He also stood out because of how well he did in gym and other athletic situations. Over the years, he began opening up more too. You saw him talking amicably with other kids or neighbors from time to time. And the only kid that came to visit the neighborhood when you were little, Shiloh, well, he was gone. He and his mom moved back south because of her work. I know, right? Kid definitely needed it. Just 1 year after Cope came to Sunset Bird. It'd been really upsetting when he left. Lizzie was inconsolable for weeks, but nobody talked about Shiloh anymore. It was a long time ago. We got tricky. No, we did not sell Shiloh. Okay? We did not sell Shiloh. Okay? Shiloh's mom had to move. Alright? And there was absolutely no human trafficking involved. It's a joke because we found him really annoying. It's a free laborer. That's true. That's true. A willing free laborer at that. Oh my god. You know what? You bring up an excellent point, Darby. You learn some heartbreaking things become less sad the further away they were, even if they had never gotten any better. That was sad in its own way. This is definitely I'm 13 and I'm deep material. Things at home were different too. You still lived in the same house and all that, but it wasn't how it was before. Ma dyed her hair purple, wanting something new, and liked it so much she kept dyeing it. You remembered calling her mommy as a kid, but something like that seemed awkward nowadays. You're much too old for that word. Lizzie felt too mature for her nickname too. She insisted on everyone calling her Elizabeth. So you did. Keep calling her mommy? Stop being a coward? You know what? I'll go for it. I'll keep calling her mommy. Your mom soon gave her permission to go places other than the playground and shopping street, which she took advantage of. You rarely saw her around the old neighborhood. In fact, she hardly spent time with you the way she did before. Elizabeth instead associated more with girls from school who were her own age. Maybe the difference between 13 and 15 was greater than the difference between 8 and 10. You started befriending new people yourself, like Derek Suarez. He didn't live in the neighborhood or go to the same school. What happened was his and Cobb's dad struck up a business partnership a few months ago. Since then, Derek would pop up in the area now and then. It seemed Mr. Suarez was happy to let Derek tag along to his work, if Derek had the time for it. Without a doubt, everyone and everything around you had changed, in small and big ways. You had too. As time went by, though, it was easy to settle into this new normal. Then, before you knew it, school was over, and summer vacation had come again. It was the first day of summer vacation. The sun was as hot as ever, but you were inside and away from its harsh rays. To be more specific, you were snuggled up in bed, celebrating your time off by sleeping in. Perfect. The correct answer. The only one. It was hot, but you still had the blanket up over your head to block out the sun. You didn't want it intruding in your lazy morning. Unfortunately, you hadn't prepared for an intrusion. From beneath the blanket, you heard the door creak open. Elizabeth. Oh, sorry. You're still sleeping? Wow, get up. No, wait, we get to more Valier. You're still sleeping? Wow, get up. Go away. You pretended to be still asleep. You started to fake snore loudly, moaning. You stayed wrapped up in your blankets, not moving an inch with your eyes, closed peacefully. By the impatient tapping of her foot, you could tell she hadn't left. Come on, I knew you heard me. Get up. Now, I will come over there. So much for a lazy morning. Your special boy is at the door, like he always is now. He brought some happy summer gift from Mr. Holden. Mom wants you to take it from him. Say thanks or whatever. That's my Valley Girl accent. And that is going to be rudely interrupted, yes. You did not like the way she called him your special boy, but you knew by now that saying so wouldn't stop her.
Come on.
So come down already. I'll be there when I'm there. Maybe that's great, I'm coming. He seems in denial. A little bit. You right there. What do you think, guys? 3? But if she's in denial, then it'll be number 4. Like, or number 2. Like pretending not. True. Really, this great, I'm coming. Elizabeth said nothing else and laughed, having done what was instructed of her. You rolled out of bed, stretching your arms up high and yawning. Time to get ready. You sat yourself in front of the mirror in the far corner of your room. True, true. Are we going for tall or small? I'm for small. Yeah, I'm gonna go with small. You were even smaller than Derek. People were always surprised to find out you and Cope were the same age, considering that almost comical height difference. You liked your height. It suited you well, in your mind. Then you put up the finishing touches on your outfit while ruminating on the situation. Careless as they had been, Elizabeth's words piqued your curiosity. We're going to show that we care for Coop, even if our words are different. Yep. You planned on going over to see what Coop was up to today, so this worked in your favor. It was when you spotted your reflection that you realized you were smiling wide. You were looking forward to seeing him. You left her room, going down the stairs 2 steps at a time. Second chance. You spotted Mom first, reclining on the couch. She held a magazine in her hands which she was perusing through. Morning, Mom. She looked up at your greeting, a smile instantly appearing upon her face.
Thanks.
Good morning, Curry. Thank you for coming down. Mass at the door with Cove. He can't stay over today, unfortunately. Why don't you go and thank him before he leaves? You nodded and made your way to the front of her house. Just as she said, Mommy was there making conversation. It's been fucking weirder now that it's not part of the fucking game. She must have heard you because she looked over her shoulder.
Oh.
Look who finally made it. Morning, sleepyhead. Ma reached forward and you knew she was about to pat you on the head. She was taller than average for an adult woman, so at your height, you were absolutely tiny in her eyes. You let her do it. You happily let her do it. Dodged, pushed her back and laughed. Head pats. Head pats are good. That type of small affectionate exchange was nice. She placed the whole of her hand on the top of your head for a second before lifting it back up. Ah, you're the last one down today. You know that? Life isn't a race. Morning. I guess I was going to stay in longer, so you're welcome. Yes, thank you for gracing us all with your presence this fine day. Nah, no, that was too mean. Cope was just as you remembered, exactly how you came to know him to be. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. That's adorable as hell, and also, he so fucking has a crush. He's blushing so hard. He leaned uncomfortably to the side in your doorway as the longer strands of his hair idly drifted with the breeze. Oh yeah, he's fucking blushing hard. This is perfect. His features were pinched in embarrassment and he shifted from one foot to another. He was holding what must be the much talked about gift. Oh, 100% they're playing matchmaker. Like, what other reason would there be for them to literally get you out of bed to receive this gift from Cope? Right? At first glance, you figured it was with a bouquet of flowers, then you gave it a real look. No, instead, it was carefully cut fruit. It made a lot of sense that it was actually from Cope's dad. You had to suppress a laugh at this showing. You couldn't imagine many folks buying that sort of thing for their own personal enjoyment. That kind of arrangement was built for the presentation, likely to impress whoever was inevitably going to receive it. It seemed no matter how long he lived here, Mr. Holden would keep going out of his way to be neighborly, and Cope would always be roped into participating. Oh my god, you dense bitch. You dense bitch. That's cute. That's fucking cute. Yeah, sure. That's what's happening. Yep. At the sight of you, Ko smiled, but there was some nervousness to it. You dense bitch. Hey. He smiled back. Sure. Oh no, he's being nervily for sure. It's just not just that. He smiled back. You couldn't help thinking to when you first met Ko and how you became such good friends. Or the both of them are being deeply in denial. Yep, that one. You became such good friends. Lately though, you were starting to have different feelings for him. Very, very good friends. Hey, it's nice to see you. Yeah, you too. His grip on the base of the gift tightened and your heartbeat sped up. Even if neither of you had spoken about it, both of you were aware something new was growing in your relationship. It was already shaping up to be another long summer. The best part was the two of you had plenty of time to spend together and explore what was developing. His awkwardness over the task started to creep back in, so Cope nudged the gift closer to you. He was ready to be relieved of it. Your hand brushed over his just slightly when he took hold of the base. He flinched enough for you to know with certainty that he noticed it happen. You couldn't help but smirk to yourself. And with that, the gift was accepted. How are you and your family like this? It's a pretty good gift. I think so anyway. He smiled earnestly. I'd spent a little time picking out the best size and design. There were so many options to choose from. Thank you. Thanks. And you are too cute sometimes. It's gotta be 3. 100% it's gotta be fucking 3. Not exactly, not even a question. I'm not trying to be. Oh, that blush. Yeah, he wasn't blushing before. Now he is. I'm not trying to be. Just thank my dad for all this, okay? Your dad. Cool. Sure thing. Mr. Holden's behavior really was different from any neighbor you'd ever had, though after 5 years, you were used to his antics, and you'd since made up your mind on what your opinion was. Weird, like him, great, and kinda handsome. True. Delph. Though, there were some things people didn't like about Mr. Holden. You didn't mind them, and liked him quite a bit. And even if he was Co's dad, you couldn't pretend like he was a nice looking guy. That was good too. But it was something you kept to yourself. Your thoughts were quickly interrupted by a shout. There you are! You shared a confused look with Ko. As one, both of you stepped through the open door onto the neighborhood street. Didn't take long to locate the source of the noise. You spotted Derek just a few yards down the road. He ran up to you. You were happy at the sight of him, you were confused at the sight of him, or displeased. Confused. I'm not mean enough for displeased. You hadn't expected to see Derek today, though you'd never really knew when he'd appear. After stepping a couple steps away, Derek hunched over to catch his breath. Then he looked up with a wide grin. Hey, Guy and Gal. Damn, he's short. I was at your house, Cope, but no one was there. I should have figured you'd be at Corey's place. Do you ever spend time in your own home, or are you always just there? Derek laughed at his own joke. He either didn't notice that it embarrassed Ko, or the embarrassment was what he was actually laughing at. Derek turned to you. He was going to say more when his eyes widened and he gasped. What's that? You followed his gaze, unsure, then you realized what he meant. You were still holding Mr. Holden's gift. This is kind of like a bouquet of flowers, but made out of fruit. Nice, can I have some? It's a... I'm sorry, it's not my gift. It's, What's for the family? Derek pouted at your words. You want 4? Yeah. Derek grew more excited by your words, pausing on the balls of his feet. Awesome. Then he nodded his head. To clear, so selfish. Anyway, that's right. I came here because I needed to say something big. He paused, possibly for effect. There's some other kid here in Sunset Bird. Cope was as surprised as you were by the news. Such a reaction made sense. No one around your age had moved here since Cope did 5 years ago. Were they with their family? Maybe they were cutting through. The new kid was all by himself, just walking. Did you talk to him?
Nope.
Nope. I came to report the sighting right away. The kid had green hair, glasses, was pretty small, and he seemed really upset about something. I hope he didn't leave. You blinked. Slowly you looked over to your longtime neighbor. That doesn't look like you, Cove. When you first got here, anyway. Yes. It kinda does, doesn't it? That's weird. He sounded almost fond, a small smile playing on his lips. Eric snickered good-naturedly. I can see that really well, now that you say so. But what do you say? Let's go find Cope's lookalike. We should all meet him.
Sure.
I'll do it. Sure. I want to see who this person is. Derek grinned and pointed down at the street, the way he came. Last I saw him, the mystery visitor was going this direction. Nothing else needed to be said. The three of you were off, with Derek leading the way. Did you forget you're holding a fucking fruit bouquet? She did. Cool. Derek brought you to the beach, and as a trio, you made your way down the shore to the old playground. You walked the familiar path in a comfortable silence. When you were almost there, you spotted the kid in question. His bright colors were almost shone like a beacon beneath the rays of the sun. I'm pretty sure this is not Baxter, actually. He scuffled around, kicking up the sands as he paced. It was true. He certainly seemed upset, but you didn't think he was sad, like you had urgently pictured. No, with his erratic movements and scrunched-up expression, he came off angry. You were curious about him, and what he was so mad about. Derek must have felt the same as you. He waited wildly, calling out to the boy. Hey guy, over here. Yeah, that's not Baxter. The kid whipped around, an impressive scowl carving deeper onto his face. His eyes were tired, but a strong hostile energy still radiated from him.
What?
What is it? What do you want? A sharp tone made Derek flinch. He shifted on his feet. Well, what's your name? Jeremy? Is that it?
No.
No, I'm Derek. That's Corey and Cope. We were just walking around and saw you. We wanted to say hi. There are a lot of kids our age in the neighborhood. Yeah? So you know, it's cool to see someone else here. Strangely, Jeremy grew furious by your response. If steam could erupt from a person's ears, it would have happened then. They did bring me somewhere stupid. Of course, I knew it. You know, it makes me think of that kid from the bug type specialist from Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't remember his name. Just grow up later, grow up well. Ah, alright. I don't actually remember. What?
My
My parents, they're the ones who brought me. I didn't know what to walk to this town. Can you not figure out on your own?
Right.
Right. And that brings me to Sunset Bird too. When he has to come to for work and all that stuff, it's not bad. That earned him a glare from Jeremy. Derek winced beneath it, glancing away. It was a struggle to remain friendly with this Jeremy guy. I mean, I wouldn't want to come here for a real vacation, probably, either. That's an understatement. That doesn't count as a vacation. It's a waste of time. Sure. My parents' family is nearby, and we just had to come see them. Ugh. So being as aggressively abrasive, that's good. If they're your parents' family, Doesn't make them your family too?
I guess.
That's a pretty good reason to come by. So you gonna go somewhere else? No! God damn. Jeremy crossed his arms with a huff. He turned away. They should have gone by themselves. So they care so much. They left me home, but I'm not allowed to eat myself. This is fucking funny. It makes no sense. They're the ones who don't know how to do anything. I'm the kid. Oh god. You kept quiet. You shouldn't talk with your parents like that. You said hello. Calm down. Who paid you soul this morning? What do you think? Three or five? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, let's go with 3. See if that does anything. Your turn to go. Lower your voice. The two of you aren't that similar at all. Jerry must have had good hearing though, because he caught the private exchange and scoffed.
Stupid.
Oh, of course we're not similar. My ear was saying stupid. Joe's cheeks flushed crimson at the insult. You couldn't be sure if it was out of embarrassment or anger. Maybe both. Come on. Okay. So, initially, we were neutral. Now, we're going into attack mode. Okay? Okay. So, we have 3, 4, or 7. Sorry, 6. I'm gonna go with this. Ko smiled weakly.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry your eyebrows are so terrible. Wow. You know it. You know I have to. I have to. You know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. With your first bald, you made a quick step forward. But you only wanted to spook him. He was the one who started things. You're ready to end him. It made it clear. Death or glory, he made it clear that words wouldn't work, leaving you to resort to action. You weren't sure what would happen, but you couldn't let this stand. Fucking surprised in everyone's faces. Derek and Cobb jumped in to stop you before you reach him. They each grabbed you by the arm. Still, Jeremy instinctively stumbled backwards. He practically fell over. And by the way, remember, our character is fucking tiny. She's shorter than Derek. So that makes this even funnier. If that's all you can do about what I'm saying, it's just proving I'm right. You're brainless. You were annoyed that the two were against you on this, and got in the way, though that reaction you had been able to get was still worth it. Wow, what is wrong with you? Instead of taking offense, Jeremy only parroted Derek's words in a nasally voice. Wow, what is wrong with you? This is dumb. Jeremy stuck out his tongue and skulked away, throwing more sand everywhere as he went. You watched him go, hunched over until he became a speck in your vision. Silence ran in his wake. The three of you had tried to process what just happened. I can't believe it. What a mean kid. Derek wasn't kidding, and by the sound of those earlier complaints, the new boy Jeremy was going to be in the area for at least a little while this summer. Derek sighed in dismay, plumping onto the ground. You followed, and Cope did too shortly after. There wasn't much else to do. This sucks. I was hoping we could meet someone fun. Hang out, maybe. He shook his head. After a moment, he slowly turned to you with a hopeful expression. But you know what would really improve the day? What? The but didn't respond. Instead, he used a hand to point right at the fruit arrangement that you were still holding. You'd completely forgotten about it during the mini-drama that unfolded. You had gotten used to the weight. Glancing over to Cope, you noticed he was aiming the fruit. You must want some too. What do you think, guys? I think I've done both. I need to save it.
Yay.
Okay. He sighed, still staring at the glistening fruits, but he didn't insist further. Yeah, it's a gift from the McClan family after all. They should be the ones who get to have it. Sorry for asking. It's fine. Quiet once more descended upon your group. Cope turned towards the ocean, a peaceful expression on his face. Hey, did you remember the land before time? That fruit thing makes me think of it. The dinosaurs all liked the leaves that were shaped like stars. Holy shit, that takes me the fuck back. The land before time? Wow. I love that movie. At least the first one anyway. 3 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, chomping leaves looked so delicious when they did it. It really did. I love that movie. If leaves looks good, should I worry about you? Do you think things taste better when they're shaped like stars? Really? Interesting. It is pretty old. Depending on your age, it might quite literally be you for your time. One, 5, or 6. This is a tough choice. This one's honest. This one's sassy. And this one's just Luna Lovegood. Alright. He snickered. Not everything, but it probably helps. Dirk didn't say anything further about dinosaurs or otherwise. For the next few minutes, the 3 of you watched the waves crash into the shore. Hey, Curry? Yeah? The 2 of you met eyes casually. Were you seriously gonna hit that guy? Well, he had it coming. The Luna Lovegood option is always the best option. Not sometimes, always. Curry, that's so bad. But it was cool. Ooh. Brownie points with Cove. Excellent. Good. Good. I like this. I'm okay with this. But you're both crazy people. You knew when Derek said things like that, it wasn't serious. He liked you and Cove. Yeah. Derek then leaned back in his arms. He contemplated the sky with a content sigh. So, are you both ready for summer break? Wait, so he just realized that we're crazy? Yeah. He hasn't been around for too long. You know, he's relatively new. How's someone supposed to be ready for a break? I mean, it just feels like there's a lot to plan for. What about you, Cope? Are you ready? I think it depends. Before you could say anything else, the light atmosphere was shattered. Hey, Cory! You glanced over your shoulder to see your sister. She stood closer and closer, appearing none too pleased. I've been looking all... Oh, wait, no. Bally girl. I've been looking all over for you. Ma said you and Cope ran off with the thing Mr. Holden brought for us. She leered over you. Leered? You mean loomed? With arms folded. So, where is it? It's fine, I'm right here. You turn your body. Yeah. To face her, and he held up the bouquet, proving that it was in one piece. She inspected the fruit arrangement with a small frown. Alright, looks good. But if all you're doing is sitting around, you better take it back to the house now. It's not just for you. Wait.
Okay.
Alright, looks good. But if all you're doing is sitting around, you better take it back to the house now. It's not just for you. She grinned tauntingly, slightly glancing at Cobb, who sat right beside you. This fucking bitch, just shit staring already. I love it. She's in her I'm a mature woman, damn it. Yes, she's in the I'm trying hard to be cool and an older kid. Sorry, an adult. Even if you're the one person who comes to the delivery point, this was up to his dad. It seemed everybody was in a mood to tease you and Cobb today. No difference. Within moments, Cobb's cheeks flushed red. He picked at the hem of his shirt, suddenly finding it very interesting. He always became nervous when Elizabeth would strike at your relationship. Get going. This wasn't okay just because you hadn't done anything yet. If both of them are going to be oblivious, dumbasses is hard not to. I know, right? This makes it even funnier. Oh no, I think I hear the mean kid coming back. You better get out of here. Ooh, Elizabeth versus the mean kid versus Jeremy. That's perfect. Elizabeth blinked, confused, and looked around. What kid? I don't see anyone. Derek didn't bother explaining. He just launched to his bed and ran off. Cobb hopped up too, taking the opportunity to exit the situation. He followed after Derek, but he sent a look at to you from over his shoulder. You turned to watch Elizabeth. She stared back, brow raised. Shit. This is a tough one. Wait, was it just a distraction? You didn't make a break for it. Instead, you carefully got out from the sand, bouquet still in hand. Once you straightened up, Elizabeth smiled affectionately over at you. Yep, same. Come on, fugitive. You nodded, then examined the fruit skewers. You wanted to make sure it hadn't been jostled by the sharp banter you'd gone on. It still looked great. Elizabeth noticed too. You know, we could split it now and tell them those boys ate it. They bailed, so they don't get to tell the story. Moms would never need to find out. So much for it's not just for you. Very hypocritical. She bumped your shoulder, winking cheekily. What else is family for? You laughed together, making your way home side by side. You and Elizabeth didn't follow through with the joke to eat everything before getting home. When the two of you reunited, your moms welcomed you back. There wasn't a mention of the mini event that unfolded. The four of you happily split the bouquet in the end. That was a while ago now. Later that night, you found yourself seated near the kitchen counter. Your fingers drummed on the surface as you waited, your gaze trained on the phone. You were waiting on a call tonight, specifically from your cousin Leandra. You didn't want to miss it accidentally. Your uncle, aunt, and Lee used to live many houses away. Your families only saw each other a few times a year for big occasions. A while back though, they'd moved and were closer to you than ever before. You now hung out regularly. I'd forgotten about Lee. Completely forgot about her. I remember liking her quite a bit. With school being out, you're positive she's gonna want to come over a lot. The few of you were the same age and got along well. She used to be really fond of Lizzie. Elizabeth, too. But now that your sister had become allergic to interacting with her own family, it tended to be just you and Lee who spent time together. She was your only friend who was a girl. Being family made you close, but you had a lot of girlfriends. No. Ride or die. You weren't all that close with any other girls your age. But you didn't really have a lot of other friends to get either. Yeah, I'm not a big group of friends type. Matt always said that that quality was more important than quantity when Elizabeth bemoaned your small social circle. You weren't sure how friendship quality was judged, but nevertheless, you thought that what you had with Lee was good. The shrill ringtone announced an incoming call. You jumped, before grabbing the receiver and pressing it to your ear. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Lee, finally! Hi, sorry about that wait. Curry, it took forever to get the phone away from my mom. That's okay. She's fucking adorable. There was chatting on the end, as if Lee was shifting wherever she was. So, can you believe school's actually over? I thought it'd never be done. Now we don't have to do any of that boring stuff and we get to hang out whenever we want. Speaking of hanging out, Lee, can you wait for a second? Let me just head to my room. Oh yeah. Get up from your seat at the counter. Luckily, the phone was wireless, so you don't have to worry about any cords tying you down. Your mom had a rule about not moving the phone unless the call was in progress, which was why you'd been sat by its cradle waiting for Lee to call. Your moms could be really unfair. You thought that made sense. You didn't like it, but it had to be that way. I wanna go with this one. You weren't the only person here. If anyone could take the phone anywhere at any time, it'd be an even bigger hassle. You could easily imagine the receiver having a new forever home in Elizabeth's locked room. But now that Lee had called, it was okay for you to go upstairs to your room, to your bathroom, and talk to her. You jogged up the stairs, taking 2 at a time, smiling. I'm curious what that number HCWI023G means. After you had arrived, you shut the bedroom door firmly behind you. You took a seat on your bed. Alright, I'm here. Cool. Hey, did you know the girl down the street from me has her own phone now? A cell phone. She doesn't have to wait for someone else to stop using it or anything. Wow, really? The thought of someone having a phone that was all their own seemed unbelievable to you. When is this? Right, I wish I had one too, but my parents said I couldn't get my own phone until I'm more grown up. I wish they'd changed their mind. We could call each other every single day, and no one would be able to stop us. How great would that be? 2004 era? But that was already the everyone has phones era. Really? Great! But wouldn't I still be using a home phone? Too bad that's so far away. My moms would be able to stop us if they wanted. Lee laughed. It didn't put a damper on her imagination. Oh. You're making me feel old. Because now I realize that was 10 years ago. Oh, then you have your own phone too. That works. She sighed dramatically. I bet I'm not gonna get one until I'm all the way in college. Squeezing the phone between your shoulder and ear, you pulled up your pillows and made yourself more comfy. It was strange to think of a time when normal school would be over and you'd have to choose whether or not to go to college. School was such a big part of your life right now. Studying didn't come easily to you, but though you tried hard. You worked about as hard as most people, but got pretty average. Never tried much, but you still didn't do that bad. Didn't bother, and the grades reflected it. Everything came easily. I'm sorry. I know other people didn't. That's not the reality most people lived. But it's not like school was hard. You sucked up information naturally. It's all I know, okay? Leave me alone. As you soaked up information as naturally as a sponge absorbed water, you had yet to worry about school being hard for you. College wasn't hard. Honestly, college just fucking easier. Oh. The only thing that came close to being hard was math, and that was because I hadn't yet figured out how to do math easily and correctly. Once I did, it was fucking easy. You felt a lot of pressure to maintain the high grades you had last year. It wouldn't be a big deal if they dropped some. I am not an overachiever. I am not. If anything, I'm an underachiever. You had a positive record. It wouldn't be worth it to stress over every mark. Yep, you tried to sound engaged, but your mind had decided to go back to school despite the season, leaning you too well to be fooled.
What's that?
You sound so spacey, what's up? Just thinking about school. We groaned. Are you thinking about how we don't have to think about it because it's summer? That's what I'm doing. 3 or 4. I'm gonna go with 3. Going 4? No matter how much you wanted to enjoy your free time, the creeping dread of knowing that it would come to an end was always there beside you. I get what you mean, though I guess school isn't all that way bad. You can do some good things there. You can just do more when school's out. It's pretty great. Nope. Nope. It's the easiest way to hang out with people not in the neighborhood. Cafeteria lunches as my school could be better than they had any right to be. Looking good. Learning new things. What? Cafeteria lunches? Alright. Looky. Mine's boring. Learn anything was cool. I just wish everyone did okay with how they taught the things, not just some people.
Me too.
Me too. Oh, that's all. Pretty much everything that's good about school. Okay, point taken.
Alright.
Now, I decree the topic of school is officially closed. We have to talk about this summer first before we start plotting the rest of our lives. I've got some plans already. Like? I'm gonna visit my cousins. He chuckled, of course. That's something you want to do. It's like, what's something you want to do? The first thing that comes to your head. Spend time. Art supplies, reading, movies, spend time of age. So, Cove is not an option. 3 or 6. I know, right? I'll go with 6. Lee giggled. Aiming high, huh? Don't strain yourself. You leaned back in your bed, settling in. As you continued chatting with your friend, even though it hadn't been that long since you saw her, and you'd be seeing her soon, you found plenty to talk about. For one, the events of the day. You sat up straighter. I was with Cove and Derek, and we met a new kid. Like, at your neighborhood? Mm-hmm. His parents are visiting family, so it sounds like he'll be around for a little while. I don't know how long. What was he like? Creepy, mean, weird. What do you think? Creepy or weird? Or mean? Kept snapping when all we were trying to do was talk to him. He just kept being rude at everyone. But especially Cove. It was awful. I don't think I want to meet him. You want the boy to stay away from before even meeting him? That's an unexpected twist. With them. Your cousin was pretty popular with the boys who knew her. She seemed happy enough to have them around. Until they started to annoy her. Hey, who are you to talk? You keep practically all your attention to boys. Or maybe just one boy. I see how much you like Cove. You got me, yeah. Special case. I don't give him all my attention. You weren't able to say anything to that. What do you think? How in denial are we? I'm partial to 3, 4, and 5. Alright, let's go for Lee laughed at your denial, deeply amused. And for a moment, you chuckled along with her. There was a stomping noise approaching your room, heralding the arrival of your irritated older sister. She flung the door open, a frown etched on her face. A little adventure from earlier hadn't gotten you any goodwill this time, it seemed. How long are you going to be to hug the phone? Glancing at your watch, you realized that your quick call had gone on much longer than anticipated. Elizabeth held out her hand. The other one lodged on her hip. She noticed a realization on your face. Time's up. Gotta go soon. Gotta go. I'll see you soon, okay? With a sigh, you said your goodbyes to Lee. Sorry for being long. I'm still you singing. No, get out of my room. What do you think? I'm partial to 4 and 5, but that's me being me and having issues with authority. Not anymore. You didn't get everything in the world. Neither do you. I'm not the one asking for it. You had your turn. Now you want to get mine too because you're first in your dreams. I will get Mom's. Fine. Yeah, I have to go now.
Bye.
Okay, see you soon. Tell Elizabeth and your moms I said hi too. You barely pressed the end call button when Elizabeth whisked the handset from your fingers and began dialing someone new as you strode out of the room. Your masked voice called from downstairs. Hey, has anyone seen the phone? Oh, that's perfect. I'm using it. With that, she shut your door behind you. Silence was left in the wake. That was one way to on your first day of summer break. Sometime later, it had gotten dark outside and you laid in bed wide awake. Your window rattled all of a sudden, startling you badly. You flinched, staring over at it with furrowed brows. From your vantage point, you saw only the moon in an open sky. You were confused or curious. What had caused that noise? Frowning, you sat up and moved closer to the window. You might as well find the reason behind that disturbance. To your utter shock, your gaze was met by a pair of familiar ocean blue eyes. Yeah, Cove is visiting. Cove? You squinted. Yup, Cove was right outside your window. Your house was very angular, and some parts stuck out further than the others, so it theoretically wouldn't be hard to climb around on. Still, just because somebody could didn't mean you expected it to ever happen. To his credit, Cove was doing fine. His feet were braced against a section of the wall that jutted out, his arms flexing with the effort to keep him upright. He easily lifted a hand and waved at you from the side of the glass. From the other side of the glass. You hurriedly opened the window. Yeah, right? Just casually, just friends casually being good friends and, climbing up the side of their house to knock on your friend's window in the middle of the night. Casually, like friends do. Cope climbed over the ledge, releasing a breath once he was safely inside.
Hey.
Hi, Curry. What are you doing? What's up, Romeo? Number 2 is getting my boat right now. This sure is a surprise, but you're always welcome here. Is everything okay? What happened? You're lucky I didn't start screaming. Amazing, my dreams have come true. 2 or 6? Both are great. 2 or 6, both are great, but I think 6 is the best. Totally platonic? Thanks, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say to that. I know that it's late, but I don't know what else to do. If I rang the doorbell, I know your moms would have answered and they'd just make me go home. It's for sure the best. I didn't really want to explain why I was coming over anyway. I want to talk about it. Oh, besides with you, I mean. But that's why I did that. As unexpected as this was, her touch could have felt like he could tell you what was wrong. I may have tried calling or something, except my dad was on the phone. Coulson looked very cross. That he was talking to my mom. Still is, probably. You raise your eyebrows. Cope had eavesdropped on his parents' phone conversation. You didn't comment on him eavesdropping. There were other things to talk about. Are you going to stay with your mom for a while again? Every year, Cope was sent off to live with his mom for a few weeks. When it happened, varied. Sometimes he would go during the winter break, but usually he went during summer. Even though it was hard news, when you found out he was leaving and you missed seeing him those weeks, you understood. To your surprise, however, he shook his head. That's what I thought too, but no, that's not what they were saying. My dad asked my mom not to have me leave this year. He said she could come stay with us here. Yeah, huh? You waited for him to continue. He didn't. The conversation abruptly dropped off. You couldn't help but stare at Cope. There was a complicated mix of expressions on his face. Is she gonna do that? Yeah. She told him she'd come. I know she's coming soon, before school starts. Oh. You had heard Cope talk about his mom a lot over the years. He'd tell you about past memories, or what happened while he was visiting her. Still, it was one thing to hear about someone and another to actually meet them. Very soon, you were going to see Cope's mom in person. You were taken aback by the news, so you could only imagine how Cope felt. You looked over at him. He was pacing across your room, his features pained with dread. Before, they'd barely stay in the same room long enough to have lunch. Now we're gonna be out together again. The 3 of us? After all this time? Just for a few weeks. I know I should probably be happy that they can talk to each other now. I'm still not. I'm just confused and freaked out. And now I feel really bad for feeling this way. Why? Don't worry about it. Feel however you feel. Or his fist tightened and his face became misty. I shouldn't keep getting like this. It's been a long time already. I'm not a little kid. Though he wouldn't meet your eyes, you knew he was waiting for you to say something. There's nothing wrong. You can deal with this. I'm sorry. It's a lot. A tense line of Cope's shoulders eased. Thanks, that makes me feel a little better. Like I'm not freaking out for no reason. A momentary silence fell over the two of you. Okay. Cope's expression cleared a little. Thanks, I'm actually really glad I came over to see you. Okay, I'm curious, which one do you want? 1 or 2? This is probably the healthier option. He's feeling a little better. A momentary silence fell over the two of you. You marveled at how the day started. You had woken up eager for summer vacation, but now things seem so crazy. A mini debacle with Mr. Holden's gift, the newest addition to the neighborhood of being so rude. Exactly. Yeah, it's a healthier option. And as if all that wasn't enough, now Cope's mom would be living with Cope and his dad again. Your whole life was kind of like that, it seemed. Complicated and hard and different. Why couldn't things just get better with time? Corey? The sound of your name, said quietly, pulled you from your thoughts. Cope gazed at you, concerned.
Are you okay?
Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay, you meant it. You didn't mean it. No, I'm not. I don't know. Who, me? I'm more worried about you. You meant it. You knew some things were still good. Cope grinned reassuringly. It was small and delicate, but he knew it was genuine. Genuine? Moonlight from outside cast shadows across his face and lit up his eyes. They seemed to sparkle with his smile. Just that one look brightened your mood somewhat. You know, I think I don't want to talk anymore about this. He looked away, his lips thinning into a line, and rubbed at his arms. But I kinda don't want to go back home either. Could I stay a little longer? Just doing something else? He appeared equal parts hopeful and vulnerable. How could you possibly turn him away? Yeah. You can stay tonight, but we shouldn't make a habit of this. I've got a flashlight and some cars. Are you in? Of course, you can always stay here, Cope. It's gotta be 3. 3. It's gotta be 3. As if he even had to ask. Cope perked up at your response, a smile appearing on his face. He immediately took a seat on your bed. Not afraid to get comfortable in your room. You felt a little better at the side, somehow. You still had a lot of worries, but you were glad he was here. And not just tonight. You were glad he came into your life in the first place. That was a change you'd never want to undo. It felt totally natural to let him into your little world. That initial friendship had deepened so much over these past years, and you were certain there was room to get even closer. No, don't make the joke. Rise above it. You joined Cope on your bed, taking a seat across from him. He smiled at you again, but you could tell this was half-hearted. He was so easy to read. Though he didn't want to talk about his mom and dad, he must be thinking about what happened and what's about to happen. Smiled, shoulder, patted his back, hug. It's gotta be hug, right? Or hand holding. Hug. You moved closer and wrapped your short arms around him as much as you could. Your head was much lower than his, so there was nowhere for your face to go except against the front of his torso. It wasn't much, but he hoped that the contact helped even a little bit. Was he not blushing before? He was not blushing before. Who froze up, startled. After a moment, his arms came up and he returned your hug. The two of you remained like that for some time. He might have mumbled something to you, but it was too quiet to tell what it was. When you pulled back, his expression softened into something more natural. Conversation was tilted and broken, often by silence at first. Was making sure that Cope blushes truly diabolical? Of course. Then both of you were able to get into your usual candor. As your secret hangout session stretched on, you thought that you truly wanted to keep having moments like this with him. You hoped a day would never come when life decided that the two of you would have to part ways. And you knew Cope felt the same. You opened your tired eyes, groaning as he adjusted to the bright light that was streaming through your window and warming your tan skin. With a loud yawn, you rolled away from the sunlight and blinked a couple of times, clearing the sleep from your eyes, before realizing with a start that it was actually morning. You slept in, for sure fucking did. couldn't remember even falling asleep. Cope had crept through your window during the night. Oh, damn it. I have a feeling like he does at one point fall asleep with you in your bed, but I don't remember. And together trying not to wake up your parents. You must have fallen asleep when you were hanging out, but couldn't put a finger on exactly when. You wonder how late Cope has stayed before heading home. You rubbed your face and yawned again, contemplating whether you should get out of bed and get ready for the day, or stay snuggled up for a little while longer, until your gaze landed on an instantly recognizable fucking called it mop of pale green hair, and you bolted upright and gasped in surprise. He never left, he was still here, in the morning. He laughed. He had fallen asleep while sitting on the mat on the ground and precariously leaning his head on the side of your mattress. Ah, shit. With your laugh, Cope's eyes snapped open and his head slipped from its source of support. He didn't stop going down until he smacked right into the floor with a crack. Oof. You clamped a hand over your mouth and looked down at him with wide eyes curled up where he had landed rather ungracefully. Oh. You laughed even more. Are you okay? You held him up. 1, 2, or 3. Two? 3? Here. Cope complied. I know, I also want one. By putting his hand in yours, and you helped him back into a sitting position. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm alright. If either of your moms found out Cope had slept here last night, the two of you would be in big trouble. Cope blinked at you a couple of times, his eyes growing in panic as some thought that only he could hear settled in his mind. Oh my god, I fell asleep. You weren't exactly sure what to do as you watched Cope pace the room, looking around frantically. Cope's hands flew to his face. Nah, he's gonna climb out. Letting out a sigh of relief when he found his glasses right where they were supposed to be. Despite that, he hadn't calmed down completely. The atmosphere was still frazzled. It's good to be alright. You just need to leave before anyone notices you're here. Even you would have heard about it already. Cope nodded, his shoulders tensed as he fixed you with a firm stare with his turquoise eyes. Letting out a heavy sigh, he ran a hand through his hair in exasperation. He couldn't look at you again as he spoke. I'll see you later. You were confused by how all this had played out, but hoped that was true. Yeah, see you later, Cope. And at that, you were suddenly wrapped up in a tense embrace. As panicked as he was, this seemed to be something he couldn't forget before leaving. Aww. Fucking cute. Thanks again. You're my very best friend, Corey. No one else comes close. He firmly whispered the words into the top of your shoulder. It made you feel tingly. But you were let go of you before you had a chance to respond, or even fully react. In a matter of seconds, he had climbed over your bed. Best friend. That's all she is. Yeah, no, of course, just a friend. You're just friends, okay? Like you said, totally platonic. He had climbed over your bed and opened the window. A cool breeze rolled off the ocean, fluttering through Cope's hair and filling your room with its salty scent. Cope fearlessly stepped out onto the ledge. I know I shouldn't. I know I fucking shouldn't. His confidence aside, going out the window might not be the best idea. The thought of him getting hurt was even worse than being caught. You don't have to go out that way. I can cover for you if you can use the door. Very sure if he heard you or not, but he kept going along, one foot in front of the other with increasing speed, until his form disappeared out of sight. You stuck your head out the window, as far as it could go to try keeping watch. You walked the full length of the ledge before jumping on the door of the garage, then lowering yourself onto the fence. From there you finally dropped down onto the ground. You threw it a thumbs up at his successful climb. You ran off towards his house without stopping, disappearing behind the side of another building. You have to admit, you were pretty impressed at how doable he had made that look. Oh, it was great. Cope always seemed to have a way of seeming so smooth without even meaning to. With a little sigh, you reclosed your window. Deciding there was nothing more you could do, you hopped off your bed and got ready to head downstairs for the day. I hope Lizzie saw and just kept quiet for shits and giggles. You just left. Because look, barefoot all day? Not that Bane? What a fucking joke. Making the bed? Excuse you? What? Who does that? That's weird. And you just left. It was too early to do anything else. You took the stairs, slowly attempting to mask your face into a look of innocence. You're sure someone would have come into your room if they had heard anything strange. But you couldn't be too careful. You had to play it cool. Responsible ones? Oh, no. When you stepped into the living room, Elizabeth was there, tapping her finger on the counter. Good morning, Elizabeth. She looked you over immediately, her eyes squinting at the greeting.
Why?
Why are you being so weird? No. If she knew, she wouldn't have said, why are you being so weird? You hadn't even done anything. Your big sister never missed a beat, unfortunately. Your eyes flickered left and right as you sidestepped her and headed towards the kitchen. Corey? Okay. 3 and 4 and 6. 3 and 5 and 6. Sorry. I would. That's actually why I asked. You shook non-committally, derping not to show her a thing. Further suspicious squinting occurred as you waited for something. No. I gotta know. Cope was in my room last night for the whole night. You're still secretly buzzing from the event and just had to tell it to somebody. Your sister's mouth fell open as if on command from that admission. Don't tell Mom's. After it really seemed to have sunk in, she buckled forward with laughter. Elizabeth even put a hand out to the kitchen island to keep it a little more stable. I cannot believe you. You let the neighbor boy sneak into your house and then stay over? Oh, that's just wow. Does his dad even know? No, it's a secret. A secret, I think we're supposed to keep secrets from our parents. It's bad, isn't it? She leered forward mockingly. Come on, please listen. Well, your older sibling was having a good time putting the heat on you like this. You were at her mercy.
You're welcome.
You're lucky at least one person in this house isn't a tattletale. You better plan on keeping my secret starting today or else. And Mercy was ranted, only for now. That was better. Yeah. I want to see what happens if you just fold instead of telling her excitedly. You have so much pressure. You have to speak the truth. Mom said no, please don't tell her. It was an accident. Okay, no. I like the other one better. It's good, but this one's better. No, it's a secret. Well,
You're welcome.
you're lucky at least one person. Only for now. Thanks.
Yeah,
Right, yeah, sure. I don't know what you see in him, sis, but enjoy. Oh, perfect. Yep. She walked straight out the front door, letting it shut behind her, and you let out a brief sigh of relief. It looked like you were getting away with that. Breakfast was eaten in peace and alone. Your moms were both out by the time you had gotten up. They had left you a serving of food from the breakfast they made, hash browns, an omelette, fruit salad, and there were a few sausage links. Oh, that's a good breakfast. They took a little bit of everything. Everything. Tasty. Sausages are delicious. You appreciated there was a variety in the meals your moms made. The day lazily drifted by at home, and eventually your parents returned. You pulled open the fridge again, lingering in the frosty air for a moment or two before grabbing a bottle of ice-cold water and taking a long drink. It was perfect. A balmy summer afternoon, and you had decided to head outdoors and find something to do. You hadn't decided what that something was just yet, but you were sure something would pop up to occupy your time. As you were heading out the front door, you paused for a moment. You hadn't seen Cobb since he had left that morning, and you couldn't help but think about what had happened to him. Would it be bad to go over to his house now, or to call him to check in? You stepped out of your house, still stuck in an internal debate with yourself, when a voice caught your attention.
Hi.
Hi, Curry. Confused, you looked over to where an unrecognizable woman was waving at you. A friendly smile plastered on her face. You racked your memory where you might have seen her before, but nothing came to mind. Is that Cobb's mom? Not your school or from the country club your moms took you to. You had absolutely no idea who the woman was. The woman crossed the road towards you, and you were a little unsure whether you should stay put or go back into the house and lock the door. Yep, that's Cobb's mom. That's Cobb's mommy. Man, poor Cobb. She's firmly into the MILF designation. No wonder. He's got good genes. Oops, I'm sorry. Was that presumptuous? I've heard about you, but you have no idea who I am, do you? Well, you shook your head as you removed her sunglasses to reveal sparkly ocean blue eyes. All of a sudden, she seemed a little more familiar. My son lives here, and my ex too. Look at that fucking face. Look at that fucking face. With a bent smile, she lifted a hand to point to the condo across the street from your own house. It was Cobb's mom. You didn't know why you hadn't realized sooner. How did you get a good look at her? She seemed nice, she seemed sort of strange. It made sense. She looked really young. She was super pretty. This beautiful lady was Cobb's mother? Wow. It had to be. It was kind of crazy how both his parents were that good looking. No matter your thoughts on her, you still felt taken aback that she had appeared here so suddenly. Cobb mentioned she was coming, but you hadn't gotten the impression it would be the very next day. Hey, gotta complete the set. Gotta catch them all, okay? And hey, if you can get some oyakodon in there... Oh god, I'm fucking going to hell. She extended her hand again, this time for you to take, and you studied the manicured fingers in front of her face and the assortment of bracelets that dangled from her wrist. Kira. I'm Kira Priest. You can call me Kira. First thing about it is that I agree. You shook her hand. You reached out and shook her hand, and she shook yours firmly, grinning wide. I'm Curry, but you already knew that. That I do. Ghost mentioned you to me before. It's nice if I officially meet you, Curry. He'll talk to you about his mom. He hadn't mentioned how he said things about you to her. What has Cove said about me? Oh, I can't tell you that. I've already said too much. She laughed good-naturedly. You couldn't be happy about that answer, though. The sound of the door opening and closing caught both of your attention, and when you turned towards the sound, it was to find Cove exiting his house. Yes, they fucking are. 100%. His eyes skimming the ground, wondering just how tall he had grown. He kind of figured his mom also would have been tall, but she was much more on the short side for an adult anyway. Cove's height must have come from his father.
My baby.
There you are. I thought you were gonna keep me standing out here all day. You tried to catch Cove's eye as he walked towards you, but his gaze was firmly on the sidewalk. When he finally crossed the road and looked up, he gave you a pitiful look. After the way he had acted last night, you knew he must be feeling pretty mixed up about this. You tried wordlessly to express that you understood. Cove and I are heading into town to grab something to eat while the snore is at work. Holy shit, woman. Wow, the snore. Here beamed at Cove and ruffled his hair, which only seemed to upset him more. He assumed the snore she was talking about was Mr. Holden. Hey, you should come with us, Curry. I'd love to get to know you better. Yeah, you should come. There was a pleading in his tone that you couldn't miss. Of course, we'll run it by your parents first. Responsibility and all that. It'll give me an excuse to meet them, which I need to do at some point. It's important to be neighborly if I'm going to be roosting in the street for the time being. Anywhoosies, let's go. She just wants further collaborators in her plan. She wants to officially meet the other members of the matchmaking association. Kira walked away towards her house, and you hung back with Cove, who crinkled his nose as he watched her.
Sorry.
I'm sorry about her, but I really do want you to come. I want it to be just the two of us. Not right now. He leaned in closer and whispered while checking around for anyone who might hear. What happened? Did your dad know you were gone? Cove shook his head heavily. That was so focused on Mom showing out that he didn't even notice. I thought when I heard them on the phone last night that it was something they were planning for the future. This morning Dad said it was supposed to be a surprise, and I guess I was surprised. She's gonna be here all summer. Oh. You were surprised to hear that too. Cove sighed again, even heavier. I'll go with you if you really want me to. He smiled, his shoulders relaxing a little in relief. Thanks, that'd be cool. The two of you headed over to where Cove's mom had just knocked on your front door and stood behind her. Mom answered. Now I'm picturing a threesome between the moms. You know what? That's my headcanon. It happened. It happened. That's my headcanon now. Her eyebrows lifting in surprise at the group she found in front of her. You realize that, like you, she would have no idea that it was Cove's mom who was hanging with you. However, after blinking at the woman a couple of times and looking between her and Cove, the realization seemed to strike on her. Hello there, I'm Pamela. I see you've met my kid, Cory. I'm guessing you've already known Cove for a while. Kira laughed, and you and Cove exchanged looks at your parents' weird sense of humor. I'm Kira Priest, Cove's mom. It's so nice to meet you. A head of purple-brown hair caught your eye as Map popped up behind Mom, squeezing herself beside her. We have company. I was wondering what all the commotion was. She grinned excitedly at Kira. The two of them introduced themselves and shook hands.
Hello.
Hi, Curry. Help. Cool. Smiled at Ma shyly, and she gestured a hand towards the living room. There's no use hanging around in the doorway. Why don't you come in? I'd love to, but I promised to take my son out to eat. I wouldn't want to hold you up with a surprise visit. Ah, I understand. You're welcome to stop by any time.
Of course.
I'll take you up on that offer when I can. Count on it. Would you mind too much if Corey went with Cobb and I? My treat. We won't be driving, just a quick walk down the road. Sure, that sounds nice.
Have fun.
I hope you all have fun. It looks more like maroon or something, right? You gave the moms a look, and they smiled at you fondly.
Have fun. Have fun.
You were happy they were letting you go. You could tell that Cobb really needed the support, and you were ready to be there for him.
Marvelous.
Marvelous. Expect us back in an hour or two. We look forward to seeing you again. Take care. Yep. Good, but not Violet. Your parents waved goodbye to the three of you as you backed up onto the street. There was a sound of the front door closing behind you. I'm pretty positive I saw some restaurants when I was in the taxi. Not too far from here. Yeah, there's a lot of them around. The answer was straightforward and the tone was scared. Cobb was usually more lighthearted than that. Kira put her hands on her hips and smiled at her son. Well, you sound like an area expert. Do you have any recommendations for a place nearby? Not really. Kira pouted at him a little and turned to you instead. How about you, Corey? Wanna point me in the right direction? Sure, I have a couple of favorites. We'd been to a lot of places in town, and there were a couple that stood out from all the rest. There's a Chinese restaurant that me and my family go to all the time. It's my mom's favorite. There's also a tropical theme place that tries to be sort of fancy. Well, both sound like a treat. I'll leave it to you to pick for us. Cobb is going through a phase of either. Ouch! He huffed at her and turned his face away. A little mean. You can go through whatever phase you want, but you're still gotta say which restaurant you wanna eat at, Cobb. He mumbled sulkily, willing to reject his mom, but not you. That's fucking adorable. I like the tropical place. No, I like the tropical place more. That's what I would have gone for too. With two votes in favor for one restaurant, it seemed it was settled. We can go there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Curry. Will you show us the way? You nodded, taking the lead of your little group as Cobb and his mom followed behind you. Together, the three of you left the neighborhood behind. The walk was about 15 minutes, and along the way, Kira asked a lot of questions about the area. Cobb was quiet most of the time, so you ended up answering her instead. Kira explained that she lived in a large city, and she loved how peaceful and relaxing everything seemed in Sunset Bird. The restaurant was busy as usual, but luckily you were shown right to a small table. Kira lowered herself into the chair, while Cobb picked the one diagonal to her, not facing her or to her side. It was awkward. Let's see. To start, what would you all like to drink? I'll get an orange soda.
Noted.
Noted. Corey? Kira gave you a raised eyebrow but then smiled. Iced or hot? There's sugar on the table if you want to have that, but do you want cream with it? Hot with cream. Sure. Kira placed the order for your drinks. Getting the black hot coffee herself, and it didn't take long before they were brought to the table and set in front of you. Not a coffee snob. It was, a coffee enjoyer. Kira placed the order for your drink. You took a long sip of your drink as you looked around in the restaurant. Your small group checked over the menus, deciding what to order. The last time you came here, the dish you ordered was amazing. You wanted to order something different this time. Kira and Cope didn't need any encouragement for this. They were totally focused on the information in front of them. Soon, the meals too were ordered and the menus taken away. You glanced at the table surface, waiting to figure out what to say. Cope sunk back further into his seat and avoided eye contact. He started to twiddle his thumbs while acting like all this was perfectly normal. Bizarre feelings today were unignorable. Instead of asking more open questions he'd brush off, Kira had mercy on her son and instead put her focus towards you. So, Curry, what's the few things that you're into? That's gotta be something to do for fun, especially that you're not buried in school assignments. Read. Fiction. Oh. Me too, nothing beats curling up with a good book. I'm really into Cope. 100% the not sure. Kira let out a sudden laugh and Cope gasped beside you. It was a dramatic enough inhale that he almost choked on the soda. You chuckled at the reactions. That was exactly why you said it. Corey! Cope whispered at you disapprovingly, obscuring part of his face with a hand, but Kira only waved him off and encouraged you to go on. Yeah, huh? I'm only being honest. What better way to spend time than with Cope? Well, we have something in common. Kira smiled at Cope, who didn't look too impressed by either of you at that moment. Perfect. Perfection. I like to read. Fiction. Games are fun. Video games. I don't know much about that. Maybe you can show me sometime. And I write things. After a little writing. Writing is a great form of expression, don't you think? Kira sighed wistfully, her eyes going soft. I think... Oh, I like to watch TV, movies, stand-up comedy, people. Maybe. It's pretty addicting when you find a good series, isn't it? And movies. Kira nodded her head, and you guessed you must like that too. You didn't say anything else? Thanks, I'm happy to learn more about you. There's so much I hadn't heard. Cope leaves the details out. He was trying not to pay attention, but you could tell he was uncomfortable. Hoping it would clear some of the tension in the air, you decided to ask Kira a few questions of your own. Cope hadn't told you much about her, and you were curious to know more about this woman who was such a big part of his life. What exactly do you do for work? I'm a travel writer for magazines and things. I keep people in the loop on what's worth seeing. It's woodwork, so she's an influencer before influencers were cool. Okay. Wow. What do you like to do? Spend time with my little boy, of course, and traveling. Real shock, huh? Where do you live normally? Nevada. Have you ever been there? You shook your head. It's a beautiful place. Check it out if you can. I'm extremely fucking tempted. I am extremely tempted. Kira brushed the question off lightly. Not at present. Cope nudged you in the arm, and when you looked at him, he seemed furious. Oof. Okay. I'm gonna go back and say that. Cope sipped his soda angrily, slurping up the remaining drink with furrowed eyebrows. He looked ready to run straight out of the restaurant. You were sure if Kamilang had ended up making the lunch better or worse? You want to go back and do it again? I'm curious. Let's see what happens. Let's go enough salvation and you did what you can. And not much else happens. I'm keeping it. Made a silly face, smiled, sympathetic, flicked his straw wrapper at him. Ko eventually noticed you watching him. It took a couple of moments, and finally he cracked a smile, and that made you feel a little lighter inside.
Very cute.
You two seem really cute together. He's blushing. Cope covered his face with his hands and leaned back in his seat.
Seriously?
Mom, why would you say that? You feel bothered, you blushed. Thanks, we are cute. Very. Perfect. Oh, that fucking smile. And the blush. The meals were delivered shortly after that, and everything was so delicious, even Cove enjoys his food.
Okay.
Alright, now that we're all full and content, can you explain please why you've had a bug up your butt all day? Cove's face crushed at that. Seriously, baby, what did Mom do to make you this mad? I haven't even been around a full day yet. He gripped the edge of the table, refusing to make eye contact. The words he spoke were barely audible over the din of the restaurant. You could have told me. She leaned forward to not miss anything else. Eyebrows raised. What do you want? Finally seemed to moisten his voice and spoke the thoughts that had been on his mind. That I wasn't going to visit you this year. That you were going to be coming instead. Didn't you invite me? You wanted me here with you? Cope's eyes began to shake and his frustration ebbed. I don't want you to be around, but I didn't... Oh, I do want you to be around, but I didn't know it'd be like this. It's not the same, and nobody said anything.
I see.
Yeah. Cliff did a thing. Her expression grew tense. She threaded her fingers together and placed her hands in front of her on the table. Ah, the Gendo Ikari pose. We've both been gifted another Clifford surprise. Referring to that as a Clifford surprise almost caused both you and Coop to crack a smile. You also had no idea his name wasn't just Cliff. Over 5 years, nobody had ever called him Clifford until now. She smoothed her hair out, not letting go of her stern look. The more things change... I think I know why she got divorced now. The more they stay the same. Yep, I'm quite certain I know why they got divorced now. They let out identical sighs, but smiled weakly at one another afterwards.
I'm sorry.
I can go home, Cope. We can still set up a normal trip to my place before the summer ends. Fair enough. I'll have to see what other reasons. Cope's lips tightly closed together. He seriously pondered the option. I think I do want you to stay. I miss it when you're not there. My heart, that's so fucking cute. Cute as hell. She reached across the gap, grabbed his face, and planted a kiss on his cheek. Ko tried to wiggle away. I think I remember something about her being kind of irresponsible, I think. But it's been such a long time. She reached across the gap, grabbed his face, and planted a kiss on his cheek. Ko tried to wiggle away. Mom, stop! I'm sorry. Sweet young men need to be smooshed by their parents. If I don't, they'll take away my mom license. Kira is completely enthused by Cope's submission, though a tone of seriousness did return to her voice when the conversation continued. You want to talk to your dad too? No. Cope had snapped the word instantly, but reeled his annoyance back in just as quickly. Maybe later. Not today.
It's alright.
I understand. We can shelve it. Thanks, Mom. Thank you for talking to me, little mister. She grinned affectionately at him before turning away. And thank you, Cory. What did I do? It's easy to act like a baby with your mom. It's harder to keep that up with your neighbor watching everything. Oh, she's fucking savage. Especially when you really care about what Sayid never thinks of. I love her. I love her. She winked. Mom? She's 100% best mom so far. She just ruffled his hair with a laugh, then moved her hand down to tap the end of his nose. And that was how the issue was resolved, at least between Cope and his mom. When the three of you left the restaurant and Kira had paid the bill, you walked back to your neighborhood slowly. You had eaten so much by that time, you were beginning to feel sleepy. It didn't help that the lunch had happened late, and the sun was already beginning to descend from the sky. But eventually you reached your street. Someone was there to greet your group upon arrival. Welcome back. Oh, the dad was. Welcome back, family. And Cory too. Like she's not a lock-in for family. I know, right? Cliff. Ooh, look at that. Yeah. He knows he's in the doghouse already. Dad. The two walked past him into the condo without sparing another one. Despite the summer heat, the shelters were cold. Yeah, he tries too hard. Like $20 too hard, at the minimum. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. He rubbed the back of his neck with a crooked smile, but his eyes were soft as he looked on after them. He's so much like his mom, don't you think? He gave a vague nod, not sure what he was expecting you to do. He nodded back, far more energetically. Okay, have a nice night, Okay, have a nice night, Cory. You too, Mr. Holden. With that, Cope's dad disappeared to join the others inside. It was her turn to go home now. Summer hadn't started off at all how you imagined it would have. True, he's softer. He's honestly a very good mix of both of their traits. Oh, it turned out to set the tone well. Having Kira in the neighborhood was a new experience for not only you and Cope, but also both your families, and a dull moment was rarely had. Oof. This is going to be the last one, I think. The road trip was one of my favorites. But I think that's gonna be for later, because I've almost been streaming 4 hours, and it's almost 3 AM. So, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe. I don't know, leave a comment. Actually, do leave if you want. Leave a comment on the VOD, because apparently it does help with the algorithm bullshit. So hey, but yeah. See you later, you guys. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna stream tomorrow. Well, later tonight, today, whatever. And do more of these. So yeah. Good night, and Wait. Shit. Oh, for Derek. Yeah, I don't fucking care. I don't care about Derek. Bye. Anyways, sleep well, everyone. Take care, and good night. Bye.